You're listening to TalkSport's coverage of Aston Villa against Leeds United from Villa Park. That was Dean Smith. I'm your host, Adam Inker. Alongside me, former QPR, Crystal Palace and Leeds midfielder Sean Derry. Dean Smith obviously saying that he's looking for a top 10 position there, but given the way that things have started this season, Sean, do you consider that potentially he might have ambitions and have slightly loftier ambitions than that?
Well, I think when you're managing a club the size of Aston Villa, and if you look at the last 10 years of where Villa have been, you know, they've had some difficulties along the way. They really have, but I think they've got a manager there in Dean Smith who's a pragmatist. I don't think he gets carried away with starts like we've seen, these 4 wins out of four games. It's been a brilliant start. But that's all it is. I said earlier on, I think that's just a fantastic opportunity for them to build on. And I don't think they'll see anything more than 12 very good points. Can they make it into the top 10? Well, by the size of the club, I think they should do. But we know there's some huge clubs in the Premier League too.
Villa have got this incredible 5-year plan. They want to bring European success, but they know that it's step by step, baby steps for the club. I watched Leeds on Monday night against Wolves. I know you watched the game as well, Sean. We were speaking about that earlier on. What did you make of Leeds' performance in that match against Wolves, and what do you think they need to do in this game here tonight to improve?
Well, I think they took the game towards Wolves, a very good Wolves team as well. Spent, I think, 65% in possession, which is Leeds United. We've seen that over the last 2 years with Marcelo Bielsa. I just think at times they need to be a little bit more cutthroat in the finishing. I think at times they create some fantastic opportunities, but they've got to be a little bit more ruthless in front of goal.
Yeah, there's a lot of responsibility on the shoulders of those front two. Patrick Bamford, who started the season really well, but probably needs to do a bit more. But then also Rodrigo as well, who's come in for a big transfer fee for a club like Leeds. £27 million for a newly promoted side is a big fee, and there is a lot of responsibility for those two to come good with the goals.
Well, it is, and you know, this is be a challenge for them tonight to see how they play alongside each other. I think when Rodrigo came on against Sheffield United, made such a brilliant impact on the game. But we mentioned Bamford. You know, Bamford's always going to be questioned of, does he score enough goals? Well, he's scored 3 already. He's had an assist as well. You know, I think he's got to be looking at goals from wide areas. Costa and Harrison have got to contribute to this Leeds United team.
It's a really interesting matchup here tonight. We'll be back for it very shortly. We are about 5 minutes or so away from kick-off here at Villa Park. Aston Villa against Leeds United. Aston Villa with the opportunity to go top of the table tonight. This is Premier League Live.
As darkness sweeps around the globe.
Evenings with James Whale on Talk Radio. Keep connected with round-the-clock news, essential information and expert insight.
I think we've got to be very careful about the way this has all been going on.
Cutting through the confusion with everything you need to stay safe, informed and entertained.
Everyone's going on about, we should be tracking and testing, and I just don't know how that is going to happen.
Evenings with James Whale. Weeknights from 7 on Talk Radio.
In a world of 24/7 global sportscasting and instant news infotainment, one man bestrides the airwaves like a snow-capped Caledonian colossus.
Hello, I'm Jim White.
Jim White, anchorman.
Mid-morning news team, assemble.
Jim White and Natalie Sawyer, the #1 rated news source for breaking sports stories, big-name guests, and liquid showbiz charisma.
Great Odin's Ravens, that's quite a transfer.
There's nothing burgundy about Jim White. Tomorrow morning from 10 on TalkSport.
In the spring of the year 2020 AD, a deadly enemy rages like a torrent of fire between the ends of empire.
My name is Maximus Talksportus Pandemicus, gladiator of the sports radio. Gird up your loins and battle the invasion of COVID-19, because what you do today will echo in eternity.
TalkSport Legion, assume tortoise formation against COVID-19.
Show this virus no mercy by keeping a distance of at least 2 meters at all times. That's 6.75 Roman feet centurions. Together, Legion, Talk Sportus can defeat it.
Talk Sportus Maximus.
On my signal, unleash hand sanitizer.
Keep it on, stay informed, and give coronavirus the red cardus.
Are you not hand sanitized?
20 years of Talk Sport.
Gentlemen, good evening.
There's no such thing as an overnight success.
Accrington Stanley 4, titanium plasmatronic death droids from the future, 0.
Excess.
I wasn't getting up, I was just getting in.
Excitement.
Excuse me,
and extremely strong opinions.
I spend my life covering the big game at the big level.
On DAB, medium wave, and on your smart speaker. 20 years of Talk Sport.
For all the latest news, opinions and advice, listen to Talk Radio throughout the day and stay informed as events unfold.
We're now in a position to start implementing the next part of our plan.
Find out what's happening now and what may happen next, all day, every day.
If the government gets to grips with the plan, then surely we will be able to see light at the end of the tunnel.
Listen now on DAB Digital Radio, online, via the Talk Radio app, or ask your smart speaker to play Talk Radio.
You're listening to TalkSport's coverage of Aston Villa against Leeds United from Villa Park. I'm your host, Adam Inker. Alongside me, the former QPR, Crystal Palace and Leeds midfielder, Sean Derry. This is Premier League Live. Let's jump into the team news, which you may have missed earlier on. Villa, as expected, naming the same side that beat Leicester late last time out. Leeds have Calvin Phillips out. Liam Cooper is away from the team as well. So Pascal Struijk starts again. Alioski comes in, and this is what I've heard, that Alioski will move to left back, Ayling will play at centre back, Dallas at right back, and Struijk will come into midfield to replace Calvin Phillips. But the thing is, Sean, it's not a like-for-like replacement. Difficult to replace Calvin Phillips. He's a hell of a talent. But if you were Dean Smith and you were Aston Villa tonight, how would you be looking to approach that? Would you be looking to focus your attention around Struijk, or would you just play your normal game?
Well, firstly, I'd want to play my normal game because the normal game served them right for the first four games of this season. What I would be surprised if Leeds United are making that amount of changes, the disruption it has, not just in one position, but in 3 or 4 for Leeds United. So I'd be very surprised if they do adopt too many changes to this Leeds United team tonight.
Aston Villa naming the same lineup again. They've been able to do that time and time again this season in the Premier League. How beneficial is that for a team to be able to name that same set of players week in, week out?
Oh, there's nothing better. I mean, as a player as well, for Dean Smith it's brilliant, but for the player, when you know that you're on top of your game and you know you're not worried about what's around the corner, who's going to take your shirt, it's your shirt to lose. And I think that only happens when you're winning games of football. This Aston Villa team's got a brilliant balance. It really has. I love the fact that, you know, the reputation of Grealish carries this Villa team through. But the creativity that's around him with McGinn and Barkley into Watkins is what makes this Villa team tick.
It's all been very friendly before the start of this game, but there has over the years been a bit of needle between these two. There was that championship game where Leeds and Bielsa allowed Villa to equalise. There was Spygate as well. I would say that Leeds fans aren't particularly fond of Dean Smith, who weighed in heavily as far as that's concerned. It's been played down, it's not been mentioned, but do you imagine that might potentially just kind of lay under the surface? Because lots of these players would have been involved in those moments.
I think so. It'll be mentioned, no doubt, leading into the game, perhaps in certain parts of training as well. They'll always look back on the seasons gone by where you've come up against this Aston Villa team for Leeds United. They'll be talking about it as players, but I think when you go over the white line, it's a fresh start. It's a fresh start for everybody. I say this every time I'm here. I just wish I could see the fans watching these great games.
Oh, it would be amazing tonight, wouldn't it? The atmosphere on a Friday night for this game.
Be incredible, absolutely incredible. I mean, both sets of fans are so passionate as well. And this is a Premier League, this is a top level game of tradition and history. And we've got some great players to watch.
Dean Smith has been talking about the effect of bringing Ross Barkley into the lineup, says it's had a dramatic effect on his players. Players dropped to the knee before the start of the game in recognition of the Black Lives Matter movement, yet apparently bringing somebody in with Barkley's level of Champions League experience has certainly inspired the other players, made them realise Aston Villa is a serious club. Leeds looking to end their 100% record here at Villa Park. We're underway, and Villa pressing from the front on Meslier right from the get-go, and his distribution out towards the left-hand side isn't the best. It's gone straight out for a throw-in, which gives me the opportunity to run you through the two lineups in full here. Aston Villa then with Emilio Martinez in goal. It's Cash, Konsa, Mings and Targett across the back. Luiz and McGinn in midfield with Trezeguet, Grealish, Barkley and then Ollie Watkins as well. And Leeds will start with Struijk in midfield, just to let you know, just looking across at their formation. They'll start with Meslier in goal. It's Ayling Koch, Struijk, Dallas, Alioski, Click, Harrison, Costa, Bamford and Rodrigo.
Well, your mate, he knows his stuff, doesn't he?
Yeah, my friend before the start of the game let me know what the lineup would look like, and indeed Alioski has started at left back, so thank you very much to my good friend Greg Shaw, who's an ardent Leeds United supporter and watched them very much over the years, and I'm sure he'll be delighted to know that his name was mentioned in commentary as well.
He helps us out.
But yeah, very interesting that they completely switched around from the lineup that they started the season with.
I think so, but I think, you know, the principles within Leeds United's play is going to be exactly the same, just like we see him.
Cost left foot, but it's shot blocked by Targett and sent away. Struijk wins it back, takes it off of the feet of Grealish in midfield. Here is Costa now. Leeds looking to dominate possession early on, as they like to do, and Costa away here into the area, cut back to Rodrigo, onto Bamford, turned away by McGinn, but it doesn't go very far. Alioski pretty far forward, camped out deep in Aston Villa's half, left hand side of the penalty area, works it wide to Harrison, chance to deliver towards the far post. It's nodded away by Targett, who's there. Villa having to defend very deep early on, Sean.
Absolutely, and with the two fullbacks that Leeds United have got, with Alioski and with Dallas the other side, they actually play as double wingers, and I think the space is going to be down the side of the Leeds United centre halves. And a couple of weeks ago when Villa played against Liverpool, that's where they exploited them, and that's why it's so intriguing tonight with the lineups.
McGinn swivels in midfield, looks up instantly onto the front foot and plays it wide to Watkins. Watkins looking to attack the Leeds defence, shifts it wide to Trezeguet, who can have a go at Alioski for the first time in the game. Quick cross into the area towards Watkins, and it needed the vital header into the arms of Meslier. 3 minutes gone, Villa 0, Leeds 0.
Brilliant start. Fantastic 3 minutes we've just witnessed there. Two teams showing their intentions really early in the game. Seeing the fullbacks for Leeds United popping onto more advanced zones, big areas in front of the midfield for Leeds. As soon as they get into them wide areas, they look really threatening.
I think it could be a tough evening as well for Ayling at centre-back, with Watkins looking to pull him all over the place. He's not their normal centre-back. Alioski coming forward now, ball into the area to Bamford, who gets a diving header on it, but it's wide.
Oh, what a ball. What a ball from Alioski that is. He's picked him out from about 50 yards on the diagonal. Great play. Again, we've just seen the full-back going high and wide and advanced, and that is a perfect centre-forwards cross, isn't it? He'll be disappointed with that, Bamford.
Yeah, he's done really well to get in between the two centre-backs there, Bamford, to meet the delivery. It's a really good chance. Probably should have hit the target.
And they're the kind of opportunities that he does get in games. I mean, he scores his goals, there's no denying that, but he does miss his chances as well.
Yeah, there were complaints from the Leeds United supporters last season with Bamford. Haven't been those same complaints this season, and that's a nice touch from him into midfield to Click. Harrison free in the penalty area. Cut back, might fall for Click, and it's a vital sliding challenge by McGinn. Inside his own penalty area, had to time it right, but he does turn the ball away. Dallas on the right hand side finds Struijk in midfield, moved on towards Rodrigo, picking up those spaces between a very tight midfield and defence for Aston Villa. Villa pretty much, when they're defending, on their own 6-yard box, really inviting that pressure on.
They do, and look how many Leeds United bodies are in the 18-yard box. Then I think I counted 7 at one point. I mean, they really are so adventurous in the way that they play. And I think just for the short term, perhaps Aston Villa need to just quieten this game down. You know, set plays, resets, just take the times as well, because this is what Leeds United want. They want a quick, vibrant night. Villa, I think, you know, they've just got to create the chances at their own time. It doesn't need to be a basketball game.
Very much is a basketball game. I was just thinking exactly the same thing.
Well, they don't need that because they've got the creativity in the final four, but they've got to get there in their own time. You know, it's not a game where it needs to go from back to front, because that's what Leeds United want.
Martinez with a big clearance away to Grealish, camped out on that left-hand side. It's turned away to safety by Leeds. They get it up towards halfway, and Konsa can go all the way back towards Martinez, the former Arsenal goalkeeper who arrived here during the summer. He's got big ambitions. Martinez wants to be the Argentina number one. On this occasion puts the ball out of play, but he had the option to stay at Arsenal to fight with Leno, but he wanted first team football. He was part of the Argentina squad for the recent qualifiers, was only on the bench, but a very, very ambitious man, Sean Derrick.
I thought it was a great move for him. I thought it was a real brave one as well. You can stay at clubs like Arsenal, you can go and play your games, it might be in lesser competitions, but for him to say he wants to be the number one and go to Aston Villa, I think that's testament to the character as well. If he's got aspirations to go and represent his country as well, he'd have more chance of doing that for Villa than he would have been number two for Arsenal.
Certainly looked good when he came in to deputise for Leno last season. I think plenty of people thought he might go on to be Arsenal's number one in this campaign. Very good signing for Aston Villa this season. 6.5 minutes gone here at Villa Park. Villa 0, Leeds 0. Bamford with probably the best chance of the game so far. A diving header to meet Alioski's cross, who is playing at left back tonight, although in this Leeds system, as Sean says, pretty much playing as a left wing back. It's Costa on the right now, driving at Barkley, who's back on defensive duty. And the best that Costa can do under Barkley's attention is run straight out of play.
Bielsa will be really happy with the start of his team. I mean, he'll be disappointed from the last result as well. Like we said before we came on air, it was a good positive display from Leeds United. Just lacked in the final third, them killer positions, but they've started off and they look confident, they look comfortable in this opening 8 minutes.
Yeah, they don't look too affected, do they, by the Wolves result, which is exactly what Bielsa would have wanted. Ollie Watkins having to drop deep for Villa into his own half to pick up the ball, and he's done brilliantly to shift through the gears. Played a 1-2 with McGinn, and it's now Grealish. Picks play up on the left-hand side, cuts in field and finds Barkley. Barkley onto Trezeguet with a cheeky back heel towards Luiz, who joins the attack. They're forced back by the press of Leeds United. They've done brilliantly to get back into shape. Now Barkley will pick things up in the middle. Moves on to Trezeguet, tackled by Alioski, and the break might be on here for Leeds, but Rodrigo turns and swivels into trouble, has to evade the challenge of Trezeguet, and it goes all the way back into defence for Leeds United, and Robin Koch on the left-hand side of defence just slows the pace of the game down ever so slightly. It's been an intense start, end to end, and it has been, as Sean said, a bit of a basketball match so far. Ball moved out towards Costa on the right-hand side, hugging the right touchline. Now back in play to Koch, who I'm not really sure what position you would say he plays. Sometimes in a central area, sometimes out wide. Bamford the target again in the middle. Drops at the feet of Rodrigo, and then a powerful header away by Villa. Matty Cash the man to get there. Signed from Forest in the summer, and been an excellent acquisition as well. And as well to just give Villa a bit of breathing room, and they'll try and knock the ball around because they haven't had too much time in possession, even though they're here at home.
Yeah, the handover.
Grealish on the run. He's fouled, but the referee plays an advantage. Shifted wide by Watkins. He finds Trezeguet. Grealish still down on the ground. Trezeguet cuts in field. That could be a significant injury to Jack Grealish, who has stayed down. And play continues with Trezeguet. Thought about putting the ball out of play. squares it into midfield to Barkley. Grealish hobbles back up onto his feet, and in the end Villa do play the ball out of play just to check that their star man is okay. The referee, retrospectively for the challenge, gives a yellow card to Struijk.
Yeah, Paul Turney, the referee there, I think he knew exactly what had happened. Grealish just drove through the middle of midfield there. We've just seen the replay there. Struijk, I think that's a defender's challenge in the mid-third, if you could put it in any other way. It was a lunge, it was more of an over-commitment. I don't think it was anything too vindictive, but that's Jack Grealish for you. He gets on the half-turn and he drives at the opposition, and that's why he's so good. For me, he's one of the most attack-minded players in the Premier League, full of confidence and full of creativity. Love watching him play.
He's only on the fringes of the England team, though, which for me is so bizarre. Why would you say he's not the first choice to be part of that setup?
I don't know. I mean, this is something that just astounds me. I think, I was brought up in the era of watching Paul Gascoigne, and when Paul Gascoigne played for England, he just gets people off the seats all the time. Jack Grealish does the same. For me, he's just the closest we've got to a Gaza, and I think you've got to build a team around him. I'm astounded that he's not the first pick for England. I think he's that good.
The thing is, for years England have talked about having that player, that creative player who is excellent at tournaments, and the one that sticks in my most recent memory is when we played against Pirlo and everyone was talking about Pirlo. Okay, plays slightly deeper than Grealish, but we've got that player, and he's here on the ball now, squaring into midfield to Barkley. Barkley chips into the area where Trezeguet was waiting, but it's nodded away by Alioski, who's had a bright start slotting in at left back here tonight. Just go back to that Grealish stuff. I guess the thing is, he maybe doesn't fit with the Southgate system, those pacey players, Rashford, Sancho, Sterling, and when you're playing up against players like Rashford, Sancho and Sterling for a position in the side, that's a fairly competitive set of players to be up against.
Well, we're blessed, aren't we, in England at this moment in time, that we have got some outstanding players, but Jack's one of them.
Click tries to toe the ball into the penalty area, only succeeds in finding Barkley on the edge of the box, and Villa can turn away. Grealish tries a flick inside his own half. Struijk manages to time the tackle this time and nips it away from McGinn. Forward comes Harrison. Maisie run into the area, picks out Alioski, leads with a brilliant chance, and somehow is not finished by Rodrigo. Must have taken a big deflection on the way through. Fantastic cutback from Alioski, who'd got to the byline, latched onto Harrison's pass, and in the end it's a vital touch from Ezri Konsa to block the ball and send away for a corner.
Well, that's the combination play that we've witnessed with down this left-hand side, Alioski and Harrison. They've really connected tonight in this opening 12 minutes. He'll be disappointed with that, Rodrigo. He's got to be a goal.
Aston Villa Leeds United corner, comes into the penalty spot, nodded away as far as Alioski, who takes it on the volley. It's swerved in the air, but it's a comfortable catch in the end for Martinez.
Yeah, good start. Fantastic start for Leeds. Alioski, we know, is a more attack-minded player, and he's been trusted in the left-back spot tonight. But he's not being a left-back, is he? He's been like a wing-back, an old-fashioned wing-back. He's always ready to go. Again, he's gone. He's above that halfway line without actually getting any control of the pitch, Leeds United.
Leeds so good at picking up these pockets of space, and it's Costa who comes forward now. Ball into the area, was met by Rodrigo, who doesn't get the connection he's looking for, and it spins all the way through to Harrison on the left-hand side. This time his cross nodded away by Mings. Powerful header away, and it's sent to safety, but Aston Villa having to withstand some quite severe pressure at the moment, and instantly the throw-in is put into play by Leeds, and they'll look to get the attack going again, shifting play left to right as they like to do, trying to pick out the space. Very good in these deeper areas. At the moment, just that final finish that's missing. It's not even the final ball. Rodrigo had a great chance there, Sean, just a moment ago, but didn't really connect.
Chance of the game for Rodrigo there. It really was. It was brilliant build-up play from Leeds United. The creativity, the combination play, the rotation in the final third. Everything we see from a Marcelo Bielsa team. But how many times have we said, especially against Wolves earlier on in the week, we knew that these were the situations against Wolves. That's a big miss for Rodrigo. That's a centre-forward's gift. He's found himself in space in the 6-yard box, a brilliant pullback, and he's just got to connect. Missed the goal completely.
Bamford will be extremely annoyed with that, having just watched the replay back as well, because the cutback from Costa went to Rodrigo, and it was a fine pass, but Bamford was also free at the far post, looking for that square ball, and picked up a really good position. Leeds are forcing their way forward again here, though. They're on the left-hand side with a throw-in, up in line with the edge of the 18-yard box. Click with a flick, picks out Harrison on the left-hand side, waiting for the overlapping run from Alioski. Instead cuts in field to Click, and that just allows Trezeguet the opportunity to carry the ball away. Doesn't get too far before he runs into a Leeds player, but he has managed to shift it on towards McGinn, and now Barkley squares a pass to Targett. Targett lofts one over the top. McGinn's continued his run. McGinn with a chance to deliver the cross, takes a deflection off of a Leeds player and ends up on the roof of the net. Goalkeeper backpedaling there, just double checking that one didn't end up going into the back of the net.
Well, that's the first time Aston Villa have got any sort of combination play going themselves, and it was a brilliant deep run by John McGinn, and he's went straight in behind the fullback areas where Dallas has gone high and wide too early once again, and I think that's where they're going to exploit Leeds United here tonight. But the start for Leeds United actually merits a goal because they've been outstanding.
Corner for Aston Villa. Jack Grealish goes across to take. 15 minutes gone, it's 0-0. He floats it to the edge of the penalty area, slightly too high for its intended target. Comes to Luiz, who chips one to the far post. It's nodded away by Leeds, and now they're on the break on the left-hand side. It's a fairly chunky challenge from Luiz on Rodrigo, but he does manage to win the ball and then scoops it forward himself, looking for the run of Watkins. But it's overhit, but you could see there just how quickly Leeds were looking to break and hit Aston Villa on the counter from the corner.
They're so athletic, this Leeds United team, both in attack and in defence. You've got to break them down really quickly.
Watkins wins the ball, robs it from Robin Koch. Infield it goes towards Barkley, thinks about hitting it, does hit that one, but it was fairly telegraphed straight into the arms of Meslier, who has had a fairly quiet start to the opening 16 minutes. First time really that he's been called into action, Sean.
It was, and Ross Barkley just picked up the ball there, just where he did against Everton. Against Leicester when he scored the winner. He's got a great strike on him, hasn't he? But he needs to play in them advanced areas, Ross Barkley. I don't think he's a little bit too deep at the minute, but this Aston Villa team they're on the back foot.
Yeah, he's said he's got a maturity to his game now, Ross Barkley, coming into this one. Says he knows when he needs to drop deep, when he needs to run towards the front post. At the moment in this game, he is being forced to drop deep against a Leeds United side who almost seem to have, when they attack an extra player on the pitch, they just create space so well. They create overloads on both sides of the pitch with regularity. And they're coming forward again here with Bamford in possession in a central area, being stood up by Luiz, forced out towards the right hand side where Costa waits, digs across out towards Rodrigo. It's nodded away by Konsa, given away by McGinn though, and then Bamford on the swivel tries a volley, but he doesn't quite hit that one with the pace that he was looking for. It trickles through and is easily picked up by Emiliano Martinez, who instantly looks to set Grealish away, and Grealish marches towards the penalty area. Leeds come across, Robin Koch gets there, and it deflects into the gloves of the goalkeeper, Ilya Meslier.
Wow, what a first touch that was by Jack Grealish. He was a brilliant ball into him by Martinez, a massive boot downfield, and the outside of his right foot, he's just took it in his path. Not many players can do that on the pitch nowadays. They really can't. He's full of talent, isn't he? You know, we're just seeing him zoned in on him now. That replay's coming once again. You see it. Not many people they talk about it. A lot of players talk about doing them things, but Grealish can do it. He can activate. He's fantastic.
Just had a message coming through at TalkSport Live on Twitter if you want to get in touch. Comes in from Honoride, who says he doesn't understand why Mason Mount gets into the England sides ahead of Jack Grealish. Says last time I checked, Frank Lampard wasn't the England manager. Well, I think maybe it's probably more to do with Mason Mount's ability and his willingness to defend. I'm not saying that Grealish can't do that, but he certainly doesn't really have to do that in this Aston Villa system.
It's like anything, you know, managers want to play the players they trust and they know. And I'm not saying that he doesn't trust, Gareth Southgate doesn't trust Jack Grealish.
Ball given away on the edge of the Leeds penalty area. Trezeguet trying to latch onto the loose pass. Superb defending in the end from Leeds, having to put a body on the line there. It was Luke Ayling who just came across to cover after that loose pass. Stuart Dallas whipping one across the edge of his own 18-yard box. Suicidal pass.
It was. Luke Ayling done really well, got his teammate out of a lot of trouble. It was a challenging pass to say the least.
Crossfield ball from Leeds United, picks out Harrison, who's down by the corner flag. He swivels and tries to step away from the attention of Matty Cash. Matty Cash gets the better of him, and there's a deflection off of Harrison, and it goes out of play for Villa throwing on the right hand side. Haven't been too many chances in this game, but there's been a real intensity to it, coming up to 20 minutes gone, and it's Villa 0, Leeds 0, and there looks as though there may potentially be a change here for Leeds United. We'll come to that very shortly should that happen. Aston Villa have the ball in play. Alioski rises to meet a header inside Villa's half, picked up here by Ayling, who scoops one forwards, and it's something to deal with for Konsa with Bamford on his shoulder, hooks away out for a throw-in on this left hand side. Can't let your concentration slip up against this Leeds United side. They're on you all the time. Alioski waiting to throw the ball in play, and the referee blows the whistle because it looks as though there will be a change, and it's not a change I'm sure that Leeds would have wanted to make. Struijk is the man to come off, and it will be Shackleton who comes on in the middle. I don't know whether or not that was an injury or not.
No, it doesn't look to me. Not by the look of Struijk's face. I think he's surprised that it's come off. I can only suggest it's a yellow card. It's come so early in the game for Struijk, and I think they've highlighted that. This Leeds United team, we're looking at this replay again, he's got the yellow card early in the game, and they leave themselves exposed. And when Calvin Phillips plays, it's always Phillips on his own. Struijk's on a yellow card. I think it's a wise decision by Bielsa, I really do.
Bizarre though that it's only 20 minutes into the game, but Bielsa is a man of conviction. Click delivers into the area. There's a Villa man who goes down in the process, and it's Konsa who is shoved in the build-up inside the penalty area. Free kick for Aston Villa. Of course, we'll be right across all of the Premier League action on Premier League Live across the weekend. We're back tomorrow, lunchtime UK time. West Ham against Manchester City. Manchester City looking to take advantage of Liverpool being without Van Dijk. Also, they have Aguero back. Kevin De Bruyne has been back in training. But then, of course, West Ham, well, what a fantastic finish to that Spurs game. So it's a mouth-watering contest tomorrow with John Anderson and Rufus Brevett. Lunchtime kickoff in the UK tomorrow. Then it's Fulham Crystal Palace at 3, Manchester United Chelsea at 5:30, and Liverpool against Sheffield United at 8. You can catch it all on Premier League Live. Aston Villa at Villa Park right now, drawing 0-0 with Leeds United. 22 minutes gone, and there's a slip on the edge of the penalty area for Luke Ayling, but he's lucky because there's not a Villa player in sight. They're having to drop a little deeper, and the usual pressing that you might see from Aston Villa, well, they're not happy to press until Leeds get a little closer to the halfway line.
Just seeing the little change as well, the slight tactical change for Leeds United, the personnel change. It means that Klitsch has dropped from he's more of an attacking midfielder, but he's had to sit in that deep holding midfield position now. It's a big call for Marcelo Bielsa, because we've not seen Klitsch do that too often.
Yeah, certainly restricts the way that they play. Has been in very advanced positions so far in the game. He shifts the ball wide though to pick out Dallas on the right, who's pushed further forwards. His ball into the area seeking out Bamford, and it needed the header away from, I think it was Mings, who just managed to get there. Comes back out to the left hand side, and here is Harrison. Harrison steps to get away from Trezeguet. Now Alioski, central area, chance for a shot, blasted wide from Dallas from 25 yards, was in a central area, good position to pick his spot as well. Wasn't really closed down with too much pace, but he sends it quite far wide.
Yeah, he's caught it well. Just a clean strike. Just missed the target. But again, another example of these fullbacks, when it goes into the final third, they join the attack. They don't sit there. We're just seeing Luke Ayling there tripping over the ball. Good job he didn't do that inside the 18-yard box.
I'm sure his teammates will have an enjoyable time looking that one over at the end of the game, potentially in training the next time they all get together, tripping over the ball on the edge of the box. Straight from the goal kick, Villa put the ball out of play, and it will be a Leeds United throw-in on the right-hand side. Well, we wondered whether or not Leeds might struggle to dominate possession without Calvin Phillips. Certainly hasn't been the case. They have been playing in much the way that they did for most of last season in the Championship, and certainly in the way that they did in the first period against Wolves. But Wolves in the second half, Sean, managed to force their way back into the game and become a bit more dominant.
Yeah, and I think this is what probably going to give Dean Smith a little bit of hope tonight. When you play this Leeds team, you know you're going to have to give up possession because they keep it so well. They keep it so well in certain parts of the pitch that you've got to keep your defensive strategy really connected. And to be fair to Villa, they've spent a lot of time off the ball, but here's the opportunities. This is where they've got to be a lot brighter. Yeah, they're looking good here, breaking down the left-hand side, but Shackleton, who came on to replace Struick, shifted to get back and got there ahead of Ross Barkley, who's certainly no slouch. Ball was just coming up to the edge of the Leeds United penalty area, and they were looking to unleash Barkley, but unable to do so. Villa send a long ball, an angled ball forward to the edge of the box, but again the Leeds United defence working hard, but Watkins has done well to rob Ayling, cuts it back into a good area. Trezeguet couldn't get the shot away. Now Grealish, and it's cleared off at the line. It's Ayling who's back there to stop the shot. Keeper Meslier was beaten, but Grealish denied, and now McGinn from distance. Well, we've seen him hit those from range before, but off of the left foot from 25 yards, sent over the top. Brilliant spell of play there, Sean, for Aston Villa. Well, it was, and it actually started with a Luke Ayling problem, because he's tried to force the ball out wide, and Ollie Watkins has kind of read him, used his body really well, and took the ball inside the 18-yard box and picked out Jack Grealish. It was a good connection by Jack Grealish, actually. He's beat the goalkeeper, but what a reaction it was from Luke Ayling. He's made for his error fantastically well. He really has. He's saved his side a goal there. Yeah, superb recovery there from Ayling, but a warning shot for Leeds United, who've dominated in this game, but again they haven't made their dominance pay, haven't created enough chances to trouble Martinez. And we've just seen there with Aston Villa that they've certainly got the players to hit you on the break. They've certainly got the players that look slightly more clinical in front of goal, and they're away again. Trezeguet through on goal, and it needed the sliding challenge from Meslier just on the edge of his 18-yard box to tow the ball away to safety. Going to be an Aston Villa throw-in on the right-hand side. Aston Villa 0, Leeds United 0, 27 minutes gone, and certainly that chance just a moment ago from Grealish, where Ayling cleared the ball off of the line, has given Aston Villa the confidence to come forward. Cash has a throw-in on the right-hand side. New right-back from Nottingham Forest throws the ball up towards McGinn, who swivels inside the penalty area looking for support. Finds Trezeguet looking to get a shot away, but ran into some Leeds United bodies, and then a heavy pass from Mings. Was looking to pick out Grealish on the left, but too much on it. Hasn't made too many errors this season, Tyrone Mings, so will be forgiven for overhitting the pass. Not too many centre-backs who are impressing in the Premier League as it stands. Mings certainly being one of those. Ball forward from Alioski, intercepted by Cash, slipped into midfield. Barkley has it now, looking to spray a crossfield ball, but the channel for the pass is blocked off by Click. And Ross Barkley seen out of play on the right-hand side by Harrison. Aston Villa coming into the game more and more after the last couple of minutes. It have been Leeds who've been dominating possession, possibly dropping Click back into a more defensive area has affected the way that they're playing. Grealish tries to get to the byline, does get to the byline, but the cross that's floated in is way too close to the goalkeeper Meslier, and he can roll out and instantly look to put Leeds United on the attack. That's a nice ball from Shackleton out towards Harrison. Makes his way to the Aston Villa penalty area. Move wide to Alioski, and that's a brilliant challenge, a brave challenge as well from Matty Cash to slide in to get there before Alioski to send the ball away. Yeah, it was. Matty Cash done really well there. 30 seconds earlier he was on the edge of the Leeds United 18-yard box, and He's a good player. It's a good signing for Villa. I mean, he's another player who can get up and down that line. Scores a goal as well, Matty Cash, but shown us there his defensive capabilities. It was a good challenge at the last moment. Just looking at the way that Aston Villa have just approached this last 5 minutes, if they can somehow get a change of direction, a switch of play, and have a little bit more control on the game, perhaps get the likes of Grealish and Ross Barkley a little bit higher, they'll cause this Leeds United problems, because you're right, with Klitsch going down, they don't look like they're controlling the pitch like they did do in the first 25 minutes.
Yeah, I see Barkley playing in that deeper lying role, which we know that he can play, but since he's been at Aston Villa, he has been playing further forward. That's when they've been at their best. They've certainly changed their game. They've adapted their style here to play to meet Leeds, and I don't know whether or not it's helping them out at the moment. Again, Grealish away down the left-hand side. This time they cut back, blocked by Koch inside the penalty area, and Leeds managed to get themselves away from their own box. Dallas on the break down the right-hand side, forced wide, and his ball really was an aimless pass, and it's picked up by Tyrone Mings, who can clear away. Leeds again on halfway with probably their best player in this game so far in Matus Klich. His pass intercepted by the Villa defence. Trezeguet on the run looking for the foul. Sliding challenge from Alioski was fair, said the referee. And now Harrison away down the left hand side, got space as he finds his way down by the corner flag. Drifts in field, gets the cross in towards Bamford, who managed to connect, couldn't quite send it towards that far corner, and Mings clears away. A good chance for Bamford, a half chance. Harrison again, who gets to the byline, and the sliding challenge from Cash this time sends the ball out for a corner. Fine delivery though from the left hand side for Harrison, met by Bamford. Another opportunity for Leeds in this match.
Absolutely, and when you play with two centre forwards, it poses a different type of problem for the centre halves. Generally you see a number 10, and you see perhaps a holding midfield and 2 8s in front, but Leeds United have got 2 up there, and it's when you've got that movement in front of you, the centre halves don't know whether they're coming or going. I mean, they're under a lot of pressure defensively tonight, Aston Villa are.
Leeds United corner kick, and there are plenty waiting for it too from Leeds on the penalty spot. It's sent into the edge of the 6-yard box. It's met by a Leeds United head, and it goes sailing over the top. Very, very close though. It looked like it might have been Bamford. It was. He's been flattened. He went to the ground after the challenge and may well have an injury here. He seems to be slowly making his way up onto his feet, but he did brilliantly in there, Bamford, to meet the header, just couldn't direct it into any kind of area which would have been a trouble, or would have been any kind of issue, for the goalkeeper Martinez. And we're just having the opportunity to watch a replay back of the Grealish chance from earlier on, cleared off of the line by Ayling, and there were big shouts from Aston Villa that it might have crossed the line. Just seeing the replay, it was really nowhere near. Shackleton makes his way towards the penalty area. Deflected pass, trying to thread it through the channel towards either Rodrigo or Bamford. Martinez on the slide gathers. 32 minutes gone, Aston Villa 0, Leeds 0. Has been a tense and, fiery encounter between the two sides. Have been plenty of chances for both teams, not in keeping with the rest of the Premier League this season. It's currently 0-0.
And it's a shock really, because the amount of forward play that we've seen in this opening 33 minutes, I thought there would be an early goal in this game. I mean, I suggest it would have been into the favour of Leeds United, because they've started on the front foot. Villa have not got themselves going just yet. They haven't, there's slow starters into this game, but we know, don't we, when you've got the likes of Barkley and Grealish and Ollie Watkins, they are a threat in the final third. The goals that they've scored suggest they will be. I think to get into this half time and regroup for Aston Villa is a big statement, because they don't want to concede now.
Watkins spins away from Koch and finds Grealish on the left-hand side. Been coming into the game more and more recently. It's back with Watkins, who tries to bundle his way through the Leeds United defence. Koch manages to come across the challenge, clears up towards the halfway line. Leeds have given the ball away again though to Aston Villa. Shackleton sliding in, nips it away from McGinn, and it's good work by the Leeds United substitute to recover the ball. Goes all the way back to his goalkeeper, and now Alioski has it on the left hand side. Leeds will try to pass away from the back, as they like to do. Alioski is tackled from behind by Trezeguet. Trezeguet recovers the ball and then he's penalised by the referee.
I think it's a big half-time for the analyst at Aston Villa as well. You know, a lot of these games they're clipped live, and these players will get instant access to what the first half looks like. And I think if you can show the bigger picture where the spaces are down the side of the centre halves for Leeds United, just the positions Jack Grealish is picking up as well. We've just seen an example now, Robin Cox having to go out there because Dallas has gone too early. It's a big thing at half time. The team talks are huge for managers nowadays, and the analysts play a major part in it.
So lots of people won't know about that, Sean, with the analyst. How much sway do they have as far as the manager's decision is concerned? Is it just one analyst? How does it work?
Well, they'll have live feeds now. They're all microphoned live as we watch the game now. The analysts they've got a live feed into the managers. So of course the manager's going to keep his eye on the game, but his assistant, his coaches, they'll be feeding back and forth and seeing how the pictures change. And it's huge, the half time. You know, every half time opportunity that I've had as a manager, you always speak to the analyst and see how they see it.
Leeds take a corner short. Alioski, corner of the penalty area, volleys across to the back of the box. It's brilliantly claimed by Martinez, who instantly is looking to get an attack underway. Goes out to the edge of his penalty area, doesn't see an option, so slows play down and then eventually rolls out towards the left hand side. Grealish can pick up here in a central area, combining superbly with Ollie Watkins in a deep position. And now ball is moved back towards Grealish, and now Barkley sidesteps the challenge, looks up, buys himself a yard, drives into a central area. There's space, thinks about the shot, instead goes out towards Watkins, right hand side of the penalty area, gets the ball onto his left, gets the shot away, but it's superbly blocked by Ayling and cleared away to safety. Konsa fouled on halfway by Bamford. Free kick for Aston Villa. In terms of that half-time team talk, Sean, I'm really interested. Who is the most important person then at half-time? Is it the manager? Is it the words of the analyst? Is it someone else?
Well, I think it's a collective. I do. I think as a team you work throughout the week and you have a strategy to try and win the game, obviously. That's your big intention, is to try and get 3 points. But things change so often in football. I mean, we've seen a personnel change here for Leeds United. So the challenges are, at half-time, if you're still in the game at 0-0, as it suggests that Aston Villa might be, there's a different type of second half that they might have to play that they've not even seen throughout the week. So it's a huge half-time team talk for Dean Smith.
8 minutes until we hit the 45. There may be some additional time for injury time. Grealish with a free kick, which he pings from halfway up to the edge of Leeds United's penalty area. Mings was the target, but it's over the head of Mings, and it goes straight out of play for a throw-in for Leeds United. Leeds clear away, chested down by Rodrigo. It's given away to Barkley, sends it forward to Grealish. Big shout for offside, but he manages to continue. Tucked in towards Watkins, who gets the shot away, but it's blocked by Ayling on the edge of the 6-yard box, who turns the shot away for a corner.
That's where Villa want to be, in and around this 18-yard box. You know, if it takes 2 or 3 extra touches, extra passes, with a little bit more creativity, a slower approach sometimes will work for Aston Villa. I don't see it being this basketball game that's going to get them any joy out of this game. They've got to take control of this pitch.
Mings and Konsa have already proved this season that they're good from corners. Konsa has just shoved Ayling in the chest there, and Ayling does a backwards somersault as he hits the ground, and the referee comes across for a quick word with the players who are lined up in formation on the penalty spot. You so often see this now in modern football, popularised during the World Cup in Russia. And the corner kick comes into the edge of the 6-yard box. Meslier comes to punch away, nodded back in by Targett, straight into the gloves of Meslier, who bowls out Peter Schmeichel style up towards the halfway line. Costa was the target, nodded out of play by the Villa defence, who get back quickly. And Leeds United with a throw-in on halfway, launched forward and nodded out by Targett away from danger. Dallas can streak forward from right back into midfield. It comes towards Rodrigo, who lines up. Well, he's 25 yards from goal, left-footed strike, and it's way over the top.
It was. He was 25 yards away from goal, and I think he's put it 25 yards above the crossbar and wide as well. You'll be disappointed with that as well. Rodrigo's not really got his shooting boots on tonight. He's missed a couple of half chances. Probably the second chance was the best one of the game for Leeds, where he just fluffed his lines completely. He's linking well. I mean, when he comes short, Bamford goes long and he can link in with midfield, but he's at Leeds United to score goals, and he doesn't look a goal threat at the minute, not in his opening 40 minutes anyway.
No, I guess you understand that a new player from a new league needs time to adapt, but at the same time, how long do you give someone that level of forgiveness?
Well, he knows, doesn't he? You know, he's got Bamford alongside him who can, you know, I think when you're two centre forwards, one wants to outdo the other, and Bamford's got his 3 goals already. I think Rodrigo's got his 1. It looks as though he's second fiddle to Bamford when they've got their main players out.
Villa building up nicely down the left hand side. Watkins holding off Koch with his back to goal, moves it back to Barkley on the left hand side of the area. Barkley looking for a give and go with Grealish. Grealish has 2 Leeds shirts, 2 Leeds players tapping at his ankles from behind. They've robbed the ball and they'll look to hit on the break quickly. Leeds penned in at the moment by this Villa attack, and Mings now can send a long diagonal ball out to the right hand side. Watkins, the target, does brilliantly to win it as well ahead of Alioski, and then he's fouled by Shackleton in a good area for Aston Villa. This free kick, maybe 30 yards from goal, just to the right of a central position. 5 minutes to go until the 45, and Aston Villa with a good opportunity here, probably too far away for a shot, but good chance to put the ball into the area from someone like Luiz or potentially Barkley.
Well, they're lacking a little bit of height, Leeds United, with the fact that Stewart's had to go off. Shackleton's come on and he's about 5'7". So if they can be creative with the delivery, find a little space at the back stick, I think that's what they're looking at, Aston Villa now.
Villa 0, Leeds 0. And it's Barkley who will take this free kick. Lofted to the back of the penalty area. There's a slip by Trezeguet at the vital moment, and the ball goes away for a goal kick. Hard to tell whether or not that was a decent free kick or not because of the slip.
Absolutely, but there's a definite overload for Aston Villa in terms of height advantage. Has
been a bit of a shift as well in terms of who's dominating this game. Leeds United certainly had the better of the opening 15-20 minutes since the change, and Struick leaving the field. Aston Villa coming into the game more and more. They're into the penalty area now. Grealish, edge of the box. He's clipped from behind by Costa. Big shout from Aston Villa for a penalty. Leeds pass the ball back to their goalkeeper in a really dangerous area. Meslier manages to get a decent clearance away. Certainly the video assistant will be looking at this. The referee has blown the whistle on the far side. The video assistant tonight is Stuart Atwell. Surely a big decision to make here.
Well, it's always dangerous, isn't it, when you throw a leg inside the 18-yard box, but Jack Grealish, we're just looking once again. No, he's looked for contact, I think, Jack Grealish there. Be highly unfortunate for Costa to be... No, it's not a foul. Definitely not a foul.
Well, he's looked for contact, and the decision is no penalty. According to the video assistant, the name has come up on the board. 2.5 minutes to go until half time. Villa 0, Leeds 0. It's certainly a goal that maybe this game needs. Would have sparked things into life. Smile across the face of Jack Grealish in conversation with the referee Portini. Won't be a penalty kick. Matt Targett has a throw in for Leeds. 10 yards inside Leeds half. Found John McGinn. John McGinn, the best he could do was nod the ball out of play on the far side. Says he's back to 100% fitness and doesn't feel any pain. John McGinn was around after that big injury for the back end of last season, but certainly said he was playing at around 60-70%. Have you been in that position before, Sean, playing with pain and not feeling at your best, and what's that like?
Well, these boys are on the attack. Let's have a look.
It's a cross into the area by Harrison, and it's met by Bamford again, and Bamford sends it wide. It's another brilliant chance for Leeds United.
I think Harrison's done really well in terms of getting the ball into the final areas tonight. I mean, he's so quick, isn't he? You know, he can go one side, he can go the other. The support play from Bamford. Again, another great opportunity for Leeds United. You know, he's not connected right. I'm not sure he's gone with the right foot, whether he's just looking at a reaction from Mings afterwards. He's going to get contact like that, Bamford. He's having a little moan. I think he should have a little moan about the finish rather than the contact.
Yeah, last season, we said this earlier on in the game, that there were Leeds fans who weren't particularly happy with the amount of chances that Patrick Bamford seemingly missed, and there have been a couple of good chances in this game. Not that you would necessarily expect him to score, but maybe from your number 9 you would be hoping for better. It's not certainly been lack of service in this match.
Well, just to work the keeper, you know, to work Martinez. He's not been worked enough tonight. They've had 4 or 5 very good opportunities, Leeds, and they've not been working the goalkeeper, which is going to disappoint Marcelo Bielsa and his staff at half time, because we've been here before too many times over the course of the last 2 years.
Listening to Premier League Live, we are very close to the 45. We've not had the board go up yet to say how long there will be for additional time in this game at Villa Park. Still 0-0, and there will be 1 minute of additional time here, and the ball goes out of play for Leeds midway inside Villa's half. Stuart Dallas had clearly seen the board go up and came scampering forward, looking to take the throw in quickly, but unfortunately for him, none of his teammates really seem to be on the same wavelength. It comes in towards Costa, short throw in, and they play the ball around in nice triangles here, Leeds, and they do play some very attractive football. Certainly don't look like a newly promoted Championship side. They've won a free kick in a central area. Click is brought down from a late challenge from McGinn. And we have a free kick for Leeds. Again, it's probably just out of shooting range here, although it is an opportunity to send it forwards and to try to cause some trouble for Martinez and Aston Villa just before the half-time whistle. Probably be the last chance of the half. Scooped forward by Click and nodded away by Barkley, and Grealish should send it on its way. Decides instead to try a little skill, finds Barkley, and now Villa very nearly on the break. A superb challenge from Dallas is the last moment of the first period. It's half time. It's 0-0 here at Villa Park. It's Aston Villa 0, Leeds 0. You're listening to Premier League Live.
Evenings with James Whale on Talk Radio. Keep connected with round-the-clock news, essential information and expert insight.
I think we've got to be very careful about the way this has all been going on.
Cutting through the confusion with everything you need to stay safe, informed and entertained.
Everyone's going on about, we should be tracking and testing, and I just don't know how that is going to happen.
Evenings with James Whale. Weeknights from 7 on Talk Radio.
In a world of 24/7 global sportscasting and instant news infotainment, one man bestrides the airwaves like a snow-capped Caledonian colossus.
Hello, I'm Jim White.
Jim White, anchorman.
Mid-morning news team, assemble.
Jim White and Natalie Sawyer, the #1 rated news source for breaking sports stories, big-name guests, and liquid showbiz charisma.
Great Odin's Ravens. That's quite a transfer.
There's nothing burgundy about Jim White. Tomorrow morning from 10 on TalkSport.
In the spring of the year 2020 AD, a deadly enemy rages like a torrent of fire between the ends of empire.
My name is Maximus Talk Sportus Pandemicus, gladiator of the sports radio. Gird up your loins and battle the invasion of COVID-19, because what you do today will echo in eternity.
Talk Sport Legion, assume tortoise formation against COVID-19.
Show this virus no mercy by keeping a distance of at least 2 meters at all times. That's 6.75 Roman feet centurions. Together, Legion, Talk Sportus can defeat it.
Talk Sportus Maximus.
On my signal, unleash hand sanitizer.
Keep it on, stay informed, and give coronavirus the red cardus.
Are you not hand sanitized?
20 years of talk sport.
Gentlemen, good evening.
There's no such thing as an overnight success.
Accrington Stanley 4, titanium plasmatronic death droids from the future, 0.
Excess.
I wasn't getting up, I was just getting in.
Excitement.
Excuse me,
and extremely strong opinions.
I spend my life covering the big game at the big level.
On DAB, medium wave, and on your smart speaker. 20 years of talk sport.
For all the latest news, opinions and advice, listen to Talk Radio throughout the day and stay informed as events unfold.
We're now in a position to start implementing the next part of our plan.
Find out what's happening now and what may happen next, all day, every day.
If the government gets to grips with the plan, then surely we will be able to see light at the end of the tunnel.
Listen now on DAB Digital Radio, online, via the Talk Radio app, or ask your smart speaker to play Talk Radio.
You're listening to Premier League Live. Aston Villa against Leeds from Villa Park. Here are the highlights, just in case you missed them, of the first period. To Bamford, who gets a diving header on it, but it's wide. Forward comes Harrison. Maisie run into the area, picks out Alioski, leads with a brilliant chance, and somehow it's not finished by Rodrigo. Must have taken a big deflection on the way through. Fantastic cutback from Alioski, who'd got to the byline, latched onto Harrison's pass, and in the end it's a vital touch from Konsa to block the ball and send away for a corner. Watkins has done well to rob Ayling, cuts it back into a good area. Trezeguet couldn't get the shot away. Now Grealish, and it's cleared off of the line. It's Ayling who's back there to stop the shot. Keeper Meilier was beaten, but Grealish denied, and now McGinn from distance. Well, we've seen him hit those from range before, but off of the left foot from 25 yards, sent over the top. Brilliant spell of play there for Aston Villa. It's a cross into the area by Harrison, and it's met by Bamford again, and Bamford sends it wide. It's another brilliant chance for Leeds United. You're listening to Premier League Live. Sports coverage of Aston Villa against Leeds United from Villa Park. I'm your host, Adam Inca. Alongside me is Sean Derry. Sean, Leeds certainly started the brighter of the two sides. We had the diving header for Bamford, which was a great chance. Rodrigo as well, possibly should have tested the keeper. They started well, didn't they, Leeds?
Oh, absolutely. They really did. Took control of the game fantastically well. Played the Leeds way. They really did. They started with a high energy type of performance, and there was really harming Aston Villa down the flanks as well, getting a lot of balls into the bowl. It's just a lack of control in the finishes from Rodrigo and Bamford, which again we've said, haven't we, that's cause for concern for this Leeds United team. But once they had the big change, and the big change came from the yellow card of Struijk, and Klitsch had to go back into that holding midfield position, it's just changed the dynamics slightly for Leeds.
Yeah, Pascal Struijk with a yellow card, so he's been taken off by Bielsa because of the position that he plays. He's in that central area, being asked to do a lot of dirty work, and it was maybe too much of a risk. And since he's left the field, there has been a very big shift in who's been in control of this game. Villa have come back into it more and more.
Well, they have, and I think, we talked about what the challenges were for Dean Smith and, the whole coaching setup at Aston Villa at half-time. I think if they look at the first half, they'd probably say, can we control it a little bit better in midfield? There's a definite disparity between the types of players that Leeds United have and the ones that Aston Villa have. I think McGinn can control it. I think Luiz can control it slightly from a deeper position. And if they have a few switches of play, they might be able to get Trezeguet, Grealish, Barkley and Watkins on it in a more advanced position, because Jack Grealish is dropping into a deep zone, and you don't want Jack Grealish there. You want him higher so he can affect the game.
Yeah, it's exactly what Gareth Southgate said about Grealish. He does like to drop deep to pick up the ball. He's one of those players that just loves to be in possession, but you do want Jack Grealish as probably your most creative player. He's looked the most likely to create something in this game, that's for sure. You want him in those more advanced areas. From Leeds' point of view, they were in this exact position last week, or I should say on Monday, against Wolves. How do they stop the same thing happening again? They went down 1-0 to Wolves. How do they go one step further and at least get a point from this game? Because they're certainly they're certainly more than capable of doing that.
Yeah, and I think it's vital times in certain games where you must score. When you're on top and you've got the ascendancy like they had in the first 25 minutes, you need to back it up with a goal. And I think that's what Bielsa will be saying. Listen, let's try and take the game to Villa in this opening 20 minutes of the second half, but you've got to be more aggressive in the way that you finish the chances, because that's what's let them down. It's not been they've created chances, no doubt about it, but they've just lacked control at the final calling.
I think Ross Barkley's a really interesting one in this game. He's made an immediate impact at Aston Villa, scored against Liverpool, which I'm sure as a former Everton boy he would have loved, but what a fantastic start, a 7-2 result against the former champions, but then also grabbed a late goal in that game against Leicester. One really interesting thing that he said after that Leicester game was that with Chelsea he normally wouldn't have been on the pitch, he would have been subbed off, but he was allowed to stay on the pitch because he's playing for Villa, his new side, and that's when defenders get tired, and he's got the fitness to stay in the game. But he's played slightly deeper in this game so far. It really feels that the key for Villa might just be trying to push him forward a bit and maybe getting him to connect a bit more in this game with Grealish.
I think so, and I think, if you was to split the team of Aston Villa and just say to Matty Cash and Matty Targett and the two centre-halves, Konsa and Mings, just sit. You sit and defend, and we might have Luiz and McGinn who just sit slightly deeper as well. But the other four, the Trezeguets, the Grealish and the Barkley and the Watkins, go and win us the game, because you've got the defensive stability behind. And I think whilst you've got that, the platform to go and express yourself in the final third must be brilliant for the likes of Barkley and Grealish and Trezeguet. And that's what Watkins will be saying as well, is you three behind me, get a little bit closer to me. Can we serve and supply a little bit earlier to Trezeguet and Grealish in the wide areas? And that'll be the challenge for Dean Smith in the second half, I'm sure.
Big day on Premier League Live tomorrow. In particular, one game standing out, Manchester United against Chelsea. We spoke to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer before the game, and, well, he's saying that they need to improve their home form.
To, of course, address the home form, we need to look at the way we prepare, maybe something that I've got to deal with. The whole lockdown period has made us do things differently at home, so we might have to do it a different way.
Could be a super game tomorrow, Sean. Manchester United against Chelsea, two sides that have been awful defensively, but from an attacking point of view, Rashford firing on all cylinders, seems to have his sparkle back since the international break. And then you've also got Timo Werner as well, who seems to have found his knack for grabbing goals. He's got that back.
Well, if the Manchester United and Chelsea games are anything like in the past, then listen, we'll get a popcorn and we'll watch it, won't we, Adam? It'll be a fantastic game, and I'm sure with the attacking prowess that are on the pitch. You mentioned, do you know what interests me now at this moment in time is we talk about the lack of defensive-minded quality players. I think that's leaving football to a certain degree. You look at this Leeds United team that we're watching tonight. Everything's on the front foot. The mark of the teams now in the Premier League is what you can bring in an attacking mindset. We don't see real hard-nosed centre-halves like we did perhaps 15, 20 years ago.
Plenty to enjoy tomorrow if that continues and there's no defending. Manchester United Chelsea 5:30 UK time. We'll be back here shortly for the second half of Aston Villa against Leeds from Villa Park. This is Premier League Live.
Talk Sport.
Impress lost tribespeople of the Andes by demonstrating the new updated Talk Sport app. Listen live, listen again, and listen good, Buster. Download the app at talksport.com now. The Sports Bar, weeknights from 10 on Talk Sport.
Hello, I'm Andy Goldstein, and of course you can hear me on the Sports Bar with Jason Cundy. We'll be taking all your calls, texts, tweets and emails on all the big talking points from the weekend's football. And remember, we bring you the very first look at the next day's back page headlines every single night.
The Sports Bar, weeknights from 10 on Talk Sport.
Talk Sport.
Talk Sport.
Catch up and listen up without having to cough up. It's free. Go to talksport.com and download the app today. Or don't. Your choice entirely.
Hello, Jim White here. Now, if you're wondering about all the background hullabaloo, I'm helping out as lifeguard at the brand new Talk Sport swimming pool. Golf! No running there, boy! But never mind that. Join me tomorrow morning from 10, when I'll be up to my neck in the warm, chlorinated waters of the day's biggest sports stories. Come plunge with me, Jim White, straight in at the deep end of the action.
Weekday mornings from 10 on Talk Sport.
Driving home with Darren Goff and Durham, a sporting legend and an angry sports journalist who'll pick a fight with anyone.
Just really winds me up. Absolutely unbelievable.
To say I'm angry is an understatement.
Adrian Durham, what an absolute clown.
Dynamic, double strength drive time radio.
Shall I stay?
I don't like listening to him. I'll turn off.
Do you want me to stay?
Adrian Durham and Darren Goff.
He's an idiot.
Right, hands up, who wants me to stay?
Drive time radio.
I don't have to.
Weekdays from 4, only on Talk Sport.
Paul Hawksby and Andy Jacobs on Sport. Talk Sport. It's the double O duo on the radio show that's like a collapsible bridge over a shark-infested pool of big names, sporting headlines, and topical debate. Join Paul Alligator Hopscotch Hawksby and Andy Oddjob Jacobs flying the plane of sporting entertainment out of the horse's bum of conventional radio.
Have we got Pussy Galore on the show, Andy?
No, Paul, but we've got Todd Macklin's American Sports Roundup. Will that do?
Not really, Andy, no.
Hawksby and Jacobs, shaken but not stirred. Weekday afternoons from 1 on Talk Sport.
Talk Sport.
Talk Sport.
Confuse bookmakers, impress football agents, and entertain the kids with the improved TalkSport app. Totally fun, totally free, totally football. Download it now from TalkSport.com. Hey, kids, take my mobile and go over there and play or something. Don't press the button that says Tinder. TalkSport.
You're listening to TalkSport's coverage of Aston Villa against Leeds United from Villa Park. I'm your host, Adam Inker. Alongside me is the former QPR, Crystal Palace and Leeds midfielder, Sean Derry. This is Premier League Live. The players are just about to return to the field of play. Will be Aston Villa to make their way out first. And all smiles as they make their way out of the tunnel. So, well, Dean Smith must have said something good at half-time, Sean.
Yeah, we spoke about the importance of the half-time team talk, and we know, the games can change so quickly on the course of a goal. And he knows he's got attacking-minded players who can change the course of this game, because I think if they score early, they can go and get that second goal, Villa. But whatever they're on the back foot, this Leeds United team look really threatening.
And it's Leeds now who are coming out of the tunnel. Of course, the two teams coming out separately now because of the COVID restrictions. I will run you through the lineups in just a second. The Leeds substitutes who are out warming up at half-time on the pitch, now making their way off of the field. And I'm just looking around to see whether or not we get any changes at half-time. You never know with Marcelo Bielsa. He made a change midway through the first half. Not an enforced change. Well, to a degree, there was possibly a reason for it. Jamie Shackleton coming on to replace Pascal Struijk, who was on a yellow card and playing in a central area, replacing Calvin Phillips today. They've definitely missed Calvin Phillips, haven't they, Sean? I mean, he really dominated, certainly in the first half against Wolves last time out. He covers so much ground for them. There aren't too many like him around.
No, and he's turned into a big player, not just for Leeds United, but for England as well. I've been impressed by his performances. I think when you look at this Leeds United build-up play as well, generally it comes through Phillips. It comes from the centre halves or the full-backs into Phillips, and he's got such an array of passes in his locker as well. He can open up a defence with a longer ball, or he could just link with a short ball, and that's something that perhaps Klitsch hasn't got in his game.
Back underway for the second period. Paul Tierney blows the whistle, and it's Aston Villa in their claret and blue to get us underway. An early ball forward from Konsa, picking out the heads of Ollie Watkins. Flicks on and out towards the right hand side to Trezeguet, He's unable to get there, and it goes out for a Leeds United throw-in on the left-hand side. I'll run you through the two lineups. For Villa, a familiar setup. It's Martinez in goal, Cash, Konsa, Mings and Targett across the back. Luiz and McGinn in midfield, with Ross Barkley, who's been fairly deep in this game, Trezeguet on one side, Grealish the other, and then Watkins in attack. It's Stuart Dallas right now for Leeds, with a crossfield ball up to the edge of Villa's area. Well left by Harrison for Alioski. He curls one into the box, but it's far too close to Martinez, who instantly looks to set Barkley away. Leeds lining up with Meslier in goal, Ayling, Koch and Dallas, with Alioski at the back, Shackleton, Click, Harrison and Costa, and Bamford supported by Rodrigo in attack. Keeper Meslier is inside his penalty area, has the ball at his feet. Didn't really have many saves to make in the first period. He was beaten on one occasion by Grealish, but luckily for him, Luke Ayling was stood on the goal line. Leeds coming forward on the left-hand side. Here's Harrison allowed to cut in onto his right, drives it low, draws the save, tried to beat Martinez at his front post, but the keeper got down quickly.
Yeah, it was a good cross-field pass. I think it was by Luke Ayling, and we know Harrison can go on the outside, but he's dropped his shoulder on the inside. Matty Cash has let him inside. It shouldn't happen for a full-back, really. He should always defend the line.
Lots of compliments so far this season for Matty Cash, but it wasn't the kind of defending there that would have been expected from the Aston Villa number 2. Certainly shown, though, Aston Villa, that there is talent to be had in the Championship if you know your stuff. Picking up Watkins over the summer and also Matty Cash, and they both slotted in really well. Here's Grealish on the left-hand side. Looks to step away from Koch, but Koch does well, turns the ball away, and Costa can bring forward towards halfway for Leeds United. Swivels turns back, sees McGinn coming forward, so sends it back towards Koch, who again looks for that long crossfield diagonal ball out towards Harrison. Clearly Leeds United have identified that ball is certainly the one they should be looking to utilise. Second time in just 2 minutes of the second half they've tried to play that one.
Well, we know he's a tactical magician, don't we, Bielsa, and he'll be looking at all these small targets that he could perhaps look at for the second half, and if it is the big diagonal ball into Matty Cash's area, then I'm sure he'll use it. But what we have seen of this Leeds United team is that integration, that quick passing intent through the thirds, and that's what this Leeds United team is all about for me.
Grealish the target from the free kick, and the goalkeeper Martinez, but Dallas is the man to come off the better, sends the ball away. Leeds can start again on the right hand side inside their own half with Costa. Heavy touch from him, allowed Barkley in, but Shackleton won it back, and then Mings comes out with a hefty challenge, wins the ball back for Villa. McGinn shoved off of the ball inside the centre circle. Forward comes Klitsch, picks out Rodrigo with a give and go on the edge of the D. Move wide now to Costa. He's inside the penalty area, waiting for the overlap, given a chance to shoot. Blocked by Barkley, comes out to Alioski with a wild swing of the right boot, sends it wildly over the top. Never really looked set to hit that one with any kind of trouble for Martinez. Didn't really adjust his body and his basics, really. Was leaning back and, well, didn't really make the most of what was an excellent opportunity.
Yeah, I'll be disappointed with that, Alioski. It's normally a decent finisher in front of goal. He scored a number of important goals for this Leeds United team, especially last season. It's just interesting, once again, we mentioned it in the first half about these two fullbacks. When it comes to the final third, they join the play. It's brilliant. They have 6-7 bodies inside the 18-yard box at times.
Say goal kick for Martinez. He sends forward towards the head of Watkins, who flicks on. Haven't had much of a chance to see Watkins in front of goal as of yet, but a nice touch there, and they've bought some room on the left for Grealish, who cuts in onto his right foot, tries to get the shot away. Dallas, who's moved across and is playing at right back here this afternoon, manages to touch the ball away from Grealish, and then there's a shove in the back by Rodrigo on Luiz, and it's a free kick for Aston Villa 5 minutes into the second half. Central area, 35 yards from goal, and with the likes of Barkley and Grealish around, you can certainly expect a decent delivery, although Grealish has peeled out towards the left-hand side. It looks more likely to be Barkley or potentially Targett to hit this free kick. When Tyrone Mings is around and Ezri Konsa as well. Some work to do for this Leeds United back line, who line up across the edge of their 18-yard box. We await this free kick. It's taken quickly, actually, out towards Grealish on the left, gets to the byline, and the delivery into the front post goes into the side netting. You'd expect better from Jack Grealish.
Yeah, they obviously highlighted a 1v1 down the left-hand channel for Jack Grealish, and normally he gets his crossing, doesn't he? Tonight he's just... Listen, we know he's a great player, you know, and he can turn it on when he decides to, but just having a little bit of a quiet spell.
Dallas carries forward on halfway, comes infield towards Costa, had Ross Barkley in there trying to win it, and now Costa on the right hand side. Dallas moves to a inside right position, as the Leeds United players like to do. They can shift around. They've lost it to Grealish, who's back there defending. Costa has to come away to recover. Grealish does brilliantly, and he sprints away from the challenge of Koch towards the penalty area. Good run this by Grealish. Still Grealish. On he goes, waiting for the chance to shoot, and it's saved by Meslier. Well, what a brilliant run from Jack Grealish. Recovered the ball inside his own half. Amazing run into the box. Managed to get the shot away as well. Waited and waited for the perfect moment. And just as we said that Jack Grealish hadn't been performing as we might have expected, he goes right up to the other end of the pitch and shows just why so many people are talking about this man at the moment.
Well, if that had gone in, I mean, we'd have been talking about it for months and months, wouldn't we? I mean, he's took it from his own box into the final third, put about 3 of the Leeds United players on the bottoms, and it's a good save at the end, and that's Jack Grealish. He can just turn it on when he wants.
Corner kick taken short in towards the front post. McGinn shielding the ball, spins, gets the cross in, and does brilliantly to win another corner for Aston Villa. Good defending from Klitsch at the front post. Well, that would have been some goal from Jack Grealish. Possible contender for goal of the season there, but Meslier had other ideas. And again, more pushing and shoving as we await the corner kick. This time Alioski on the ground, and the referee has thrown a yellow card into the air there. Not quite sure, given the number of players who are there, who has gone into the book. Wait for confirmation on that one, but there was a yellow card, and not for the first time as we await a corner kick. There has been some incident inside the penalty area. Corner from Villa, this time a deeper one towards Konsa, hooks it goalwards and pushed over the top by Meslier. Fine stop from the keeper, an athletic dive, and pushed away to safety.
Well, Villa have definitely got a physical advantage from set plays. You know, the Shackleton substitutions definitely favoured Aston Villa here. It was a good save in the end by the young goalkeeper.
I believe it was Tyrone Mings who went into the book for shoving Alioski to the ground in the lead up to that header from Konsa. Drew a fine stop from the Leeds United keeper. Here is Barkley's delivery from the other side. Glancing header away by Dallas, sends the ball up towards the halfway line. And Leeds United will chase it all the way through towards Martinez, and the danger averted, but it comes straight back from Martinez. Shove in there from Watkins on the back of Koch. Referee thought fairly. Grealish on the left-hand side with Targett making a run forward. Gets there ahead of Costa, gets the cross away, but it's blocked by Koch. And he can clear away, having blocked the cross. 54 minutes gone. Aston Villa 0, Leeds 0. The game is crying out for a goal. We've come so close on a couple of occasions to having one. Jack Grealish probably with the best 2 chances in the game. But it's Leeds now making their way into the area. Rodrigo's shot palmed away by Martinez, but it's turned in by Bamford, and Leeds United lead 1-0.
And we said, didn't we, this game needed a goal, and we've got one just at the vital moments as well. Again, it came from an attacking sense from Aston Villa. Had good possession, gave it away, and the quickness of break, and it fell to Rodrigo. I'm sure Martinez will be slightly disappointed that he didn't get a firmer hand on it, but poacher's instinct, Bamford tucks it away. You've got to say, over the course of this 55 minutes or so, Leeds probably deserved this opening goal.
Well, Leeds United fans will be delighted with Patrick Bamford there. It's another goal for him And as Sean said there, it's poacher's instinct. Rodrigo with the chance, but he's in the right place at the right time inside the 6-yard box. And actually it's a fine finish from Bamford, sweeping it into the far corner, as far away from the keeper as it could possibly be, hammered in with power. Aston Villa 0, Leeds United 1 here at Villa Park. 55 minutes gone, and now Aston Villa will be required to respond here. Are they just about to lose their 100% record in the Premier League for the season?
Well, they sure need to either make a change or make some tactical changes with the players they've got on the pitch, because this Leeds United team, they won't stop. They'll go for the second goal.
Bamford chasing down towards the left-hand side. It's Konsa who gets there first. He's shoved to the ground by Bamford. Free kick for Aston Villa, which is taken quickly. Now move the ball up towards halfway. Barkley, who's been largely anonymous in this game, scrapping for the ball, is dispossessed. Here's Klish, who sends it out towards the right-hand side to Costa. Costa won't get there ahead of the sliding Targett, but Targett does concede a throw-in 5 yards shy of the corner flag. Again, Leeds United looking to press forward, and as you said, they won't sit back. They will try and double their advantage. It's not the way that they play. They're not the kind of team to sit and defend, certainly not at this stage.
The goal will delight Bielsa, it really will. You know, he's put his faith in the two centre forwards, and they combined really well for the goal.
Rodrigo on the ball again here in a wide area. Crossing is hooked away to safety by Konsa. Back out for another Leeds United throw-in on the right-hand side. Well, they're really trying to turn the screw here. And after Jack Grealish came so close to scoring the opener, it's a superb response from Leeds United. Bamford with the goal that separates the two sides. Villa 0, Leeds 1, 57 minutes gone. Leeds winning a free kick, 5 yards short of the 18-yard box. A shove by Barkley, and it's way out towards Martinez's left-hand side. Certainly a good opportunity to swing the ball into the penalty area here for Leeds.
It was a silly foul by Ross Barkley. It's a dangerous area. Good delivery Leeds United have got.
Melier made a fine stop at one end to deny Grealish. Bamford scored then at the other. Martinez nervously sets his wall as we await this free kick from Leeds United. We get the whistle from the referee. Kicks delivery to the far post, and Costa was hovering, needed the header away. I think it was Ollie Watkins who was back there defending.
It was a big header by Ollie Watkins, done his defensive duties really well.
And Matty Cash conceding a corner from the throw-in for Alioski. And it will be another chance for Leeds United to put the ball into Villa's penalty area, although, as you've said a couple of times in this game, they don't necessarily have the players with height. It's taken short and quickly by Leeds. Klish with the chance to deliver, and Martinez comes to claim ahead of Koch and marches to the edge of his penalty area, feeds it to Watkins. Break on here for Villa. Luiz is forced back, Shackleton back in position. Cash gets the touch towards Grealish, who's shoved to the ground, and it starts to look a little like rugby league with that challenge on Grealish there.
The most fouled man in the Premier League getting fouled once again. Jack Grealish, I mean, it does probably make a little bit more of it. It was an innocuous challenge by Klish, and he's had a little kick out, I think. I don't think he's caught Jack Grealish there, but I think this just highlights the frustration of Aston Villa at this moment in time. They've not quite got their A game going, have they?
Leeds certainly have stepped it up a bit since scoring the goal. It's certainly given them the confidence and the belief, and maybe just knock the stuffing out of Aston Villa, who haven't been behind so far in the Premier League this season. And this is really a big test of how they'll perform for the remainder of the season. Have they got enough in the locker? Have they got something? Have they got a player who can just grab this game by the scruff of the neck? Can they respond against newly promoted Leeds United? Half an hour remaining in which to do that. Dean Smith doesn't look the happiest on the touchline, has to be said. Rodrigo has the ball inside the centre circle, shifts it wide, finds Costa. Costa glances up. There are plenty forward for Leeds inside the area. Overlapping run from Dallas. Well, Dallas just missed the ball there, but there was a sliding challenge in there from Targett. Just for a moment, I thought that might lead to a penalty kick. It was close, but it didn't quite make the connection.
No, do you know what differentiates both these teams tonight? It's the energy. It's the energy of both Leeds United and Aston Villa. I just feel that Leeds have gone really on the front foot and they've took the game to the opposition. I just think Villa are waiting for things to happen, and they've got to set their intentions early. You know, they're chasing the game now for 30 minutes to go. The likes of Barkley, you said he was anonymous. He actually is. You know, he's not touched the ball for about 10 minutes.
And again, it's Leeds United with Shackleton, who's been impressive since coming on as a change after 20 or so minutes to replace Struick. He was marching away down the left-hand side. Play's been called back by the referee here. 29 minutes of the game to go. Will be a Leeds United free kick on the left-hand side. There was a sliding challenge on Shackleton, and the referee has pulled play back. Cash is penalised for the challenge. May well be getting an Aston Villa change in a moment. Looks as though potentially Traore is the man who might be coming on here. Wait to see. Free kick taken quickly. Away down the left-hand side come Leeds, and the cross came into the area. Konsa sliding in, and he needed to make the touch. Otherwise, Bamford would have had an opportunity to score his second of the game and double Leeds' advantage. But Aston Villa caught napping from the free kick. They weren't facing up, they weren't watching, and Leeds took full advantage. They've got a corner now, so take quickly again. Click with the delivery into the penalty area. Villa managed to get the header away through Konsa, who was really the only player inside the 6-yard box. Costa picks up on the right hand side, opportunity to attack Trezeguet, goes around Trezeguet, gets the cross into the area, back of the box, opportunity for Click on the volley, and it comes out deflected to the feet of Koch, and he turns it wide. Well, it was a half chance for Leeds United. Maybe didn't know too much about the ball being at his feet there, Koch, and maybe wasn't the player that Leeds would have been hoping the ball might come out to from 8 yards.
Yeah, it was just one of them crossfield half shots that's fallen inside the 6-yard box, and you just want a centre forward to drop onto the end of it, don't you? Not a centre half. But I think when you're looking at Bamford and Rodrigo, all you want as two centre forwards is delivery into the box, and this is what Leeds United do. Down the line, and they put the ball in the box.
It's Harrison who's driving forward at Konsa here. There's the cutback as well. Costa was coming in. Bamford stole the ball off of his foot. Bamford goes down under a heavy challenge from Mings, and then he's dragged up onto his feet by Tyrone Mings, who then shoves Bamford. And I mean, this doesn't look good, does it, Sean? That doesn't look good at all from Tyrone Mings. You can't, if a player is down on the ground, if you've got the feeling that they might be faking it, you can't then drag them up onto their feet.
No, I think he's in trouble here, Tyrone Mings. He really is. You know, the VAR have got to look at this.
It was a super build-up from Harrison, again looking menacing down the left-hand side, but Mings does connect with Bamford as he's sliding in. Bamford then rolls around clutching his ankles, but, well, Mings surely
it's a red card for me.
Some sort of action.
If this is not a red card, then there's something wrong with this VAR, because Tyrone Mings is reacted in completely the wrong way.
The thing is, if Bamford is genuinely injured, he's on the floor clutching his ankle. If he's genuinely injured, then you can't drag that player up onto his feet. That's just not on. What's happening here at the moment is the video assistant, who is Stuart Atwell here tonight, they're just having a look to see whether or not a clash in the build-up there. So Tyrone Mings taking away the ankle of Patrick Bamford potentially should have been a penalty. We're awaiting that decision, but then also surely there has to be a review of what Tyrone Mings did in the aftermath, where he pulled up Bamford from the ground.
Well, it's not the decision of the penalty that the VAR should look at. It's the after effects of the decision. Tyrone Mings has actually pulled Patrick Bamford by his shirt up onto his feet because he thought he was diving to get the penalty.
Decision is no penalty.
Which is right. It's not a penalty, but what about the reaction of Mings?
What was interesting there is that Tyrone Mings was picking his nails like a nervous child. I mean, he may just have had some mud under there, so it might have just been a fleeting moment, but yeah, I don't think it was a penalty, and I think they've got the decision spot on there. But I don't think you can have a player dragging another player up off of the ground, purely because if they are actually injured, then you're maybe making that injury worse by making them stand on the ankle.
He's a lucky boy, Tyrone Mings, and he recognises it as well. You know, you mentioned about him biting his nails. He knew that potentially something was coming his way, a definite card.
Well, he's already on a yellow card, so it was a really dangerous move.
Yeah.
Trezeguet has been withdrawn. He's another player for Aston Villa this evening who for me has been largely anonymous. We really haven't seen too much of Trezeguet, which maybe is a credit to Alioski, who's come in at left back tonight and marshalled him really well. Traore comes on in his place. 65 minutes on the clock. Villa 0, Leeds 1. And it's Klish again who comes forward up to the edge of the penalty area, finds Bamford, who's up onto his feet, given time to turn, and he picks out the top corner with a superb strike. It's a second for Patrick Bamford, and what a hit from the Leeds United number 9. Aston Villa 0, Leeds United 2.
And what a way to answer back to Tyrone Mings that is. I mean, he's just had a little dispute with Mings there, but he's dropped his shoulder, got himself on the edge of the 18-yard box, and he's wrapped a finish into the top corner of Martinez's net. It's an outstanding finish by Bamford. But look at the move by Leeds United. Look how many bodies are around the edge of the box. That's a brilliant finish. That's a top finish by Patrick Bamford.
It's a super finish. But I am going to be really critical here of Aston Villa's defending. So Klish is coming forward with the ball. He's evaded the challenge of Barkley, who makes a half-hearted attempt to get to the pass. There's Luiz, who's that defensive midfielder. It's largely there. What's he doing? He doesn't go anywhere near to the ball. He just allows Klish to play the pass, and then Bamford's allowed to turn on the edge of the box and pick the spot up in the top corner. You have to be critical of that. You have to be critical of a team who's defended incredibly well this season, but that's poor from Dean Smith's side.
Without a doubt, and Konsa and Mings will be really disappointed with that. Dean Smith will be absolutely pulling his hair out, of course he will. Let's laud the finish. The finish is fantastic, but the defending's awful.
Patrick Bamford, who was criticised for long periods of last season by Leeds United fans as well, has 2 in this game. Barkley coming forward now for Aston Villa. Super block as he drives the shot forward by Ayling, who's been superb at centre-back for Leeds United tonight. Traore with his first chance to get into the game. It's a last-ditch challenge from Luke Ayling, sliding across to deny Barkley. It's really the first thing of any note that Barkley's done in this second half. Grealish on the left-hand side, into midfield, finds Watkins, give and go. Well, he's looking for it with Targett, didn't get the pass back he was looking for. Villa win a throw-in on the left-hand side, and well, maybe this is the response from Aston Villa that there should have been after they conceded the first. I don't know why it's taken them to concede 2, and then Barkley receives the ball and Barkley fouls. Huge scowl on the face of Ross Barkley, who doesn't look particularly happy.
I think it's more of just a flailing arm, I think, for Ross Barkley. He's tried to get away from his opponent and used his arm, and it's gone into the face. I think that Grealish might be getting... Somebody's got booked here.
Well, there seems to be some confusion as to who has got booked. No confusion as to who got this Grealish, who's got the booking. And it must be for some kind of dissent, because he wasn't the player who was involved in the challenge. Anyway, Grealish with the yellow. Aston Villa 0, Leeds United 2. 2 second half goals from Patrick Bamford. Patrick Bamford with 2 goals separated by 12 minutes. And he's on the ball here, and he moves it wide. And again he's fouled, this time by Luiz, who on this occasion managed to get somewhere close to the ball. Didn't do that in the build-up to the second. And, well, if I was an analyst or a manager or whoever, I'd be criticising Luiz for that performance, because he was sluggish in the build-up to the second goal. That's the thing with Leeds United, they've got the fitness, and they will grind teams down with the way that they play. They are relentless, and they are trying to apply the pressure again down the left-hand side. Here is Klisch, who knocks it backwards, and then Ayling moves it wide. Another chance for Harrison to deliver a cross in. Plenty of joy down that left-hand side. Volley comes through from Klisch from 30 yards. And Martinez, well, he watched it bounce awkwardly in front of him, and he scooted across to make the save. Got down low very quickly. What an effort. Brilliant effort, and it's just, fantastic example of midfield play. Backing that forward pass into the box, and Klisch just found himself on the edge of the box. And what I love about this Leeds team is the bravery, the excitement that they play at. They're looking for the third goal now. They're not content with just sitting on a 2-0 advantage. This new championship team, trying to hold out for a result. They're going for the third. It's brilliant to watch. Rodrigo plays a super pass to Harrison on the left. Early cross towards Bamford on a hat-trick. Sliding in to turn away is Ezri Konsa. Well, every single time it's coming from that left-hand side. I don't know how critical you can be, though, of Matty Cash, because, well, surely the Aston Villa midfield need to be trying to cut out that supply line. Well, they do, and it's 2v1 in wide areas, because Alioski's not a left-back. He's playing as a left wing-back. So every time it gets down that flank, the ball is going into the box. 100%. There's no grey areas. They've got two centre forwards, Rodrigo and Bamford, and they're demanding balls into the box, and it's coming. It's brilliant service. 19 minutes to go in the game. Villa 0, Leeds 2. Looks as though Aston Villa are about to lose their 100% record in the Premier League and won't go top of the table tonight. Dallas with a chance now, 25 yards, shift it wide towards Konsa, give and go from him. Good movement from Dallas. Not the shot though from the angle that he was looking for. Didn't quite have the balance there to get the shot away inside the box, and Villa managed to work the ball up towards the halfway line. The character's being questioned here, Aston Villa, because this is the first time in this new Premier League season where they're actually come into the game probably as slight favourites. They've been a team over the past 18 months where they've ventured into these games probably looking to say, listen, can we get something out of it? But it was a 3-point game for Dean Smith tonight, and they've thrown that opportunity away. Leeds now have the ball at the back. You would imagine it won't stay there for long. Only one intention as far as this Leeds United team are concerned, and at the moment they are playing with a real swagger, a real confidence, and this might just be a chance for them to show that there should be some fear about this Leeds United side, that they will take it to the very best in the division. Well, there should be, because the way they played the Championship last year, they really attacked it, didn't they? What a ball from Rodrigo. Picks out Costa on the right hand side in space, up in line with the edge of the 6-yard box now. Infield to Shackleton, give and go from Costa, almost trying to pass it into the net. Bamford now looking for the hat-trick. What a finish from Patrick Bamford again. 3 goals from Patrick Bamford. Well, I thought the last one was good, but this one is special. In a confident mood, opened his body inside the penalty area, and from maybe 10 yards passed it into the corner of the net. Super strike from Leeds United, Patrick Bamford. Aston Villa 0, Leeds United 3, with 17 minutes to go in the game. Well, they've just been outstanding, haven't they? They really have. A wonderful, wonderful footballing goal this is. What a ball by Rodrigo. A defence-splitting ball, and Costa's found himself into the 18-yard box. Look at the links. 1, 2, 3 links, and I mean, you've got 4 Aston Villa bodies around Patrick Bamford inside the 6-yard box, and not one of them have tried to get it off his toes. But let's not take anything away from the finish. The finish is a man who's in top of his game. It's a brilliant finish by Bamford. How does he get the shot away from there? He's got absolutely no right, with Konsa there, Mings, Luiz, all within 2 yards less, and somehow with minimal backlift he's managed to turn that ball into the far corner. Well, his body shape's brilliant, isn't it? I mean, a left footer, he's got good graceful technique as a big left footer as well, Patrick Bamford. But you've got to be saying, if you're a Dean Smith, it's a horror show tonight. It really is a complete and utter shambles of defending. Well, there was a coming together between Tyrone Mings and Patrick Bamford, where Tyrone Mings dragged Patrick Bamford off of the floor when he was injured, and Patrick Bamford's response to that moment has been absolutely superb. And, well, if any defender in the Premier League was watching thinking they could bully Patrick Bamford, I would suggest they can't. Villa coming forward now, chance to shoot for Targett inside the area, and it's deflected and out for a corner kick. Grealish at the heart of things there, and he's really looked like the only player for Aston Villa tonight who might go and create anything.
Yeah, he seems to be, the lone kind of lone hope, really. The support players around him have had a real quiet night.
Villa corner, doesn't even get past Costa. It's poor this time from Grealish. May well look back on a couple of chances in this game and kick himself that he didn't score. Certainly the run earlier on in the second half came just before the first Leeds goal as well. He ran from inside his own half and managed to wait perfect amount of time until it was just him and the keeper. But the shot wasn't the kind of shot that would really trouble any goalkeeper in the Premier League. Didn't generate the power, but he might look back on that as a big turning point in the game. Mings carries the ball forward and finds Barkley in a central area. Tries a shot from deep, but he drags it ever so slightly. Ambitious effort in any case from Ross Barkley. Just hasn't really been able to find his groove in this game.
No, he's been anonymous all night. He really has. These are the positions where, we know sometimes he's going to probably hit one out of every 10, but he scored against Leicester the other week and it was a good goal, but he's just looked like he's a flat performance for Ross Barkley tonight.
Not so from Patrick Bamford though. The Leeds number 9 has been a shining light here tonight. It's been a superb performance all round, and Patrick Bamford has certainly been the highlight. 2 fantastic finishes. I was critical of him in the first half, missed a couple of chances, in particular a diving header. Well, he's made amends in the second period, and Leeds coming forward again. Rodrigo slipping in between defence and midfield, turns away from Barkley, shimmy and then a step over, and Barkley with a foul, and it's a Leeds United free kick 25 yards from goal. Give it to Bamford, Sean.
Do you know what? I'm looking at Rodrigo and he's really contributed to this night. I mean, of course the highlights are going to be Patrick Bamford, but the way that Rodrigo's linked with the midfielders, let's not underestimate the value of the substitution as well. Pascal Struijk, when he came off, we thought, well, how can you question Marcelo Bielsa? But it's turned out to be a masterstroke.
Well, there certainly seems to be some competitiveness between the two strikers. Rodrigo really seems to fancy this free kick. He's 25 yards from goal. He steps up to take this one and curls it way over the top in the end. But I'm looking at Rodrigo thinking, is he going to be maybe the player that we might have expected to see? He seems to be the supporting striker, the one that's going to bring in the 2 wingers, and you might well see more goals from wide areas, and there will be goals from Bamford, and maybe he's not going to chip in with all that many. He'll be the man to link things up, and he's coming off the field here, and there's a Leeds United favourite coming on in Pablo Hernandez.
Yeah, and he's a big player for Leeds as well. I mean, this isn't a defensive-minded substitution. This is an attacking substitution for Leeds United. Going back to Rodrigo, he's really contributed tonight. He really has. He's linked so well with Patrick Bamford. And if you was to speak to Bamford after the game, he'll say, I couldn't have done it without my strike partner.
My friend before this game told me to put Bamford in my fantasy football team, and I don't want to look at my phone, I'll be honest. But he came up trumps with the Leeds United formation tonight. So
he did, he nailed it. Absolutely nailed it.
I'll give him that. Left-hand side of midfield, Shackleton, who's been superb since coming on, goes shoulder to shoulder with McGinn. McGinn comes off the better, the Scottish international, gliding forward and finding Barkley, shifts on towards Grealish. Left-hand side, Villa got anything in the locker. 11 minutes to try to get back into this game. Surely it's beyond them, but as we saw in Spurs against West Ham, teams in claret and blue, well, you never know. Villa 0, Leeds 3. It's Leeds coming forward again with Costa. Costa is tackled by Luiz, who has finally remembered that he is playing in a defensive midfield position tonight. Dallas moves on towards Costa on the right. Leeds, well, they're so good in possession, it might just be difficult for Villa to get anywhere near the ball in the last remaining stages of this game, and well, people talk about managing the game. Leeds managed the game from the opening whistle.
Well, they're doing, I think, the big difference between both teams tonight, and it's actually a simple thing to say, but Leeds United pass the ball forward. They do. Every opportunity they get to break the lines, they make them killer balls. Villa have been very pedestrian in the way that they've approached this game.
Leeds just seem to have these combinations figured out. They seem to always know where a player will be in a forward position. They've made space again for Hernandez on the edge of the box. He latches onto the pass from Harrison, skews the shot away, but it is recovered by Costa on the right, and they're into the area again. Hernandez in space, looking for the cutback towards Bamford. It's turned away by Villa, not exactly a convincing clearance, and Ollie Watkins has had to come back to defend inside his own penalty area.
We mentioned, didn't we, about the Villa defence in this opening 4 games of the Premier League season. I mean, considering they're sat unbeaten up until tonight, I mean, this has been a shambolic performance for the back four. They really have been. They've been highlighted defensively. It's not. I know, we can talk about the lack of forward options that they've had.
There's a VAR decision which I'm not 100% sure what it's for, but as the ball comes into the penalty area and it's cleared away by Konsa, and Luiz isn't really even looking at the ball, but he does have an arm raised. The ball does strike his arm inside the penalty area. I mean, if this is given as a handball, this will be one of the more ridiculous decisions that I've seen with the video assistant, and that's really saying something. If this is given as a handball, technically it does strike the arm. He looks and his arm is up by the side of his head.
Well, I can't even believe they've had a look at it as the VAR.
No handball.
It should never ever have wasted our time tonight to look at that decision. Never in a month of Sundays was that a handball. If that would have been the worst decision we'd have seen by VAR ever.
Do you know what? I'm really pleased that hasn't been given, because it really would have taken away from what has been a superb performance by Leeds tonight, and I think that should be the storyline here. It would have taken away from what has been a terrific performance by Patrick Bamford. As you were saying though, Aston Villa defensively, there's a few players out there who've been superb this season who've got questions to answer for me. Tyrone Mings, Ezri Konsa, Douglas Luiz in that midfield. They've all gone missing at vital times. Leeds United have made another change, and Costa has come off. Hause Costa, been a brilliant outlet on the right hand side tonight, replaced by Rafinha.
He's played really well, Hause Costa. He really has. He's getting better every time I watch him. Still a young player, still, probably finding his feet at this level as well. He's a brilliant player for Leeds United.
They've got some excellent talent in wide areas. Dallas and Costa seem to have a superb relationship. Costa's another one of those players who seems to play better, or seems to be playing better in the Premier League, like Bamford.
I just think as well, the Premier League's got this tendency of you sit deep a lot of the time as a midfielder or as a striker. You give up possession in a high area, and that's brilliant for the likes of Costa, because he can break, and he can break really quickly.
Superb crossfield ball by Rafinha, picks out Harrison, and he squares it back towards Hernandez, who's looked a bit rusty since coming on. It has to be said, he was in a really good area there, possibly had a chance to take a touch before taking the shot, which he sent way over the top of the crossbar. Build up again from Leeds, as it has been continuously through this game. Absolutely superb, but Hernandez with a panicky shot, and no real trouble for Aston Villa's keeper, Emilio Martinez.
Yeah, it was a great ball by Rafinha, just come on as well. Talk about finding your feet, having an early pass, a safety pass. This was about 60 yards, cut through the heart of Aston Villa's defence. They've been excellent tonight, Leeds. This second half performance has been top draw, it really has. Villa have got nowhere near them. No energy.
Yeah, certainly some work to do for Dean Smith's side. Might be difficult for this not to affect your confidence ever so slightly, but I think Leeds might do this to a number of teams this season, and they're working a good opportunity now for Rafinha. It's Bamford on the edge of the penalty area with a nice flick, and he found the substitute, who's been very bright since entering the field.
There's no coincidence with these final third combination plays that we're seeing in. It just doesn't happen. You can't switch on a switch and it just happens in a match day situation. This is something that Marcelo Bielsa will be working on and his coaches will be working on every single day in training, probably splitting the defenders and the forwards and the midfielders, because this is fantastic to watch.
How much would you work on those combinations? How much can you work on those combinations in training? And is Bielsa doing something special, do you think, that potentially some coaches aren't? Because the way that they're organised, I mean, it's incredible.
It is incredible, and I think how often can you work on it? I mean, forwards want to score goals in training. That's what they're bred for that, and I'm sure they're scoring loads in training with the way that Bielsa trains them.
Well, we did have a tweet come through earlier on. Sorry, it's another header from Bamford on goal. This one straight down the throat of Martinez, saying, I can't comprehend how Villa haven't lost the match yet. And I saw that at half time and thought, are you sure? Because Villa played quite well in the first period, but in the second half Leeds have been a different class, and maybe now I'm wondering how Aston Villa beat Liverpool 7-2, because it certainly looks like a very different side.
Yeah, it does, absolutely, and that'll be the frustration for the management of Villa. How can you go from one extreme to the other? As flat as they have been tonight, the game against Liverpool was complete opposite, polar opposites performance-wise.
Obviously this doesn't make Aston Villa a bad side, probably just makes Leeds United a force to be reckoned with, and maybe that result against Wolves last time out was a bit of a blip for Leeds, rather than this being a bad result for Aston Villa.
Well, there's a huge element of fortune, wasn't there, in the Wolves goal? You know, it came off Calvin Phillips' head, and it was, you know, probably going at the pace of a back pass, really. But listen, they'll take that. They said, didn't they, that they're going to react and respond in a positive manner only 4 or 5 days later, and they've done it. You know, the energy levels tonight, having played on Monday as well, is phenomenal.
Well, we said before the start of this game we were expecting entertainment, we were expecting goals, and they've come from Patrick Bamford, who has a hat-trick here tonight. Villa 0, Leeds 3. Leeds face Leicester City next Monday. I don't think Leicester will be watching this one and relishing the prospects, that's for sure. Aston Villa move on to Southampton next Sunday lunchtime. 2.5 minutes remaining here, and Leeds have been largely, for the last few minutes, camped out in Aston Villa's half. Aston Villa seem resigned to the defeat. Mings under pressure from Bamford. Martinez sprays a pass out towards Traore on the right hand side. Alioski gets the better of him and wins the throw-in on the left-hand side as well. Well, I thought it might be a huge loss with Calvin Phillips being out of the lineup, but it looks as though Leeds will be able to cope.
Yeah, they've reacted and responded in the right way, haven't they? I mean, we're just looking at the goals once again, and Mateusz Klich, he's done excellent for Leeds tonight. Started off in a more attacking zone and found himself right at the centre of these 3 goals for Leeds United. He's been outstanding.
I love that third goal from Bamford. I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, it's great to watch. Fantastic. He's a very cultured player. I mean, you know, they say he's big, strong and aggressive, but his touch and technique is excellent. All that's been missing in his game is his super goals, and he's started off on fire. What has he got now? He's got 6 goals for this season.
Targett battling for the ball by the byline inside Leeds half, but Leeds have won the free kick. Good work by Rafinha, the substitute, to get the better of Matt Targett. And Marcelo Bielsa is crouched down, sat down on the side of the field, as he always is, and well, he's not smiling.
Well, I look at Bielsa and I think, do you actually enjoy winning? Because you know, he's there at the minute on the side of the pitch, and he's growling at his team at 3-0 up, and I wonder if he goes in and he says, look lads, you got 3 minutes to enjoy this, and then we're going to look forward to the next game. As a player, is no better feeling than winning games.
Yeah, Bielsa certainly doesn't have the face of a man who has just watched his team demolish Aston Villa. careless pass by Leeds, probably the only one of the second periods. McGinn allowed to glide forward, and now Barkley can take things up. Referee playing an advantage. Shifted wide by Barkley and then sent wide by Watkins from the angle inside the penalty area. First chance really for him in this second period to get into his strides. Found some space on the right hand side, well picked out by Barkley on the break, and well, he'll be kicking himself there, even though it really doesn't make too much of an impact on the game if he scores. From a striker's point of view, you want to get into that confidence groove, and he sends a shot wide from maybe 10 yards from the angle, right hand side of the box.
Yeah, he'll be disappointed with that. Ollie Watkins just peeled on the side of the centre halves and got himself in a lovely little position to execute his finish, and just seen Klitsch got booked leading into that chance. But yeah, Watkins will be disappointed with that. Goal scorers want to score regardless of whether you win, lose or draw.
Well, it's really been a sign of the way things have played out for Aston Villa here tonight. It hasn't been a game where they haven't had chances, because they have. They've certainly had opportunities in this game. A couple for Grealish, one in the first half that was cleared off of the line by Alioski. It was a super run by Grealish that could well have led to the opening goal of this game, but he didn't score, and as is often the way in football, you are punished for those moments. And Bamford, a couple of minutes after, was up at the other end, sliding in for a poacher's goal to get things going for Leeds United, and here they are, leading here 3-0 at Villa Park. A good night's work for Leeds United, not a good night's work for Aston Villa.
No, and I think if tonight's game is anything to set the standard on, we're in for a brilliant weekend of Premier League football, because this has been a fantastic game to watch.
Oh, I hope so. I really hope so. Some super ties to look forward to. It's so unpredictable at the moment, the Premier League. West Ham, Manchester United, the first game on Premier League Live tomorrow, 12:30 UK time. The expectation is that Manchester City go on to win that by a heavy scoreline, but, well, who knows? They came back against Spurs to draw 3-3. You'll hear that with John Anderson and Rufus Brevitt tomorrow from 12. Kick-off, as I said, at 12:30. And it's Fulham Palace at 3, Manchester United Chelsea at 5:30, and then Liverpool against Sheffield United at 8 o'clock. Manchester United Chelsea looking like the best fixture there, so given the way the Premier League's going at the moment, that will be 0-0. Who knows? Not too many 0-0s though at the moment. Free kick for Aston Villa.
What a night for Bamford. Fantastic. He'll remember this for a long time. He really will. I mean, as a centre forward, to score a hat-trick at any stage of career is brilliant, but I think what makes it even sweeter for Patrick Bamford is he's had that challenge aimed at him all the time. Well, do you score enough goals? He's been outstanding for this Leeds team this year.
Yeah, he's been superb tonight, and I'll be the first to admit that I've had my doubts about Patrick Bamford and his qualities as a number 9, and I didn't know whether or not he was good enough for this Leeds United side, but he's proved tonight that he can be. Some hit there from John McGinn from 25 yards, spun as he received the ball from Barkley, smashed it goalwards. You would have heard the rattle as it hit the advertising hoarding behind the goal, but it's just over the top.
Yeah, he caught it well there, John McGinn. But going back for Bamford, you say you're the first, I'll be the second one behind you. You know, I said if there was a league in between the Championship and the Premier League, he probably sat in that league last year, because, you know, you were questioning whether he scored enough goals. But he's a definite Premier League player at this stage of his career, that's for sure. He's been outstanding for Leeds.
Yeah, I think there's a few that might need to eat their words as far as Patrick Bamford is concerned. His performance tonight definitely showing that he is certainly a quality player and a quality number 9 and a force to be reckoned with in the Premier League. I don't think he'll be underestimated by too many after a couple of the goals that he scored this evening, both the second and the third superb, but the first was a real striker's goal. It showed a real intelligence to find the corner as he did. Aston Villa have the ball with Martinez, thumps away. Well, he wants that number 1 shirt for Argentina. We're hoping that the Argentina coach hasn't seen the scoreline tonight. McGinn turns into trouble.
Look at Leeds go. Look at them.
Even at this late stage.
Look at this, it's brilliant.
They've sent 5-6 bodies streaming forward. They've got an overload here. Harrison in the wide area goes for goal. Well, at this stage of the game, it's okay to be selfish, but the shot hits the side netting, and there are a few players who motored forwards who might not be too happy with the way that he played there. But anyway, Leeds United have got this one over the line. They've done more than that. They've been absolutely superb here tonight. Aston Villa 0, Leeds United 3. What a second half performance from Leeds United, Sean Derry.
Oh, so destructive, they really were. I mean, all the flaws of Aston Villa were shown tonight. Mentioned about the back four. No, not tonight. Leeds United and Patrick Bamford and Rodrigo, especially the way that they linked up. But the quality of the goals tonight, I mean, Leeds deserved that 3-0. Could have been 5 and 6 at the end. Villa were all over the place. Been a steady, more than steady start to the season for Leeds United. A great night's work.
Yeah, superb response after going down to Wolves as well at half-time. It did look as though things maybe were going to play out in much the same way. They were dominant for long periods of that first half, and you just wondered how they would come out in the second half. They've had lots of problems with injuries. Calvin Phillips not in tonight. They've had to shuffle the pack, but they've been superb in their build-up play, and we've talked about him a lot, but they also now seem to have a player who, well, he's certainly playing with confidence, but they've got a player who can finish off all of their fantastic build-up work.
I do, and I think, not just his ending the build-up work for Leeds United and Marcelo Bielsa's team, but he's a really intelligent player, Patrick Bamford. He really is, not just in terms of footballing sense, but off the field too.
So if you're Aston Villa, just quickly, Aston Villa going into that game against Southampton, what do you say if you're Dean Smith?
Got to forget about this, lads. Put it to bed, learn by your mistakes. Going to have to work on situations in the week. However, they need a response against Southampton.
Sean, really enjoyed your company tonight. Thank you. If you have been listening here tonight, loads of Premier League action on Premier League Live to look forward to over the course of the weekend. Starts tomorrow again with West Ham against Manchester City, 12:30 UK time. Thanks for joining us here on Premier League Live.
Talk Sport.
Impress Lost Tribes people of the Andes by demonstrating the new updated Talk Sport app. Listen live, listen again, and listen good, Buster. Download the app at talksport.com now. The Sports Bar, weeknights from 10 on Talk Sport.
Hello, I'm Andy Goldstein, and of course you can hear me on the Sports Bar with Jason Cundy. We'll be taking all your calls, texts, tweets and emails on all the big talking points from the weekend's football. And remember, we bring you the very first look at the next day's back page headlines every single night.
The Sports Bar, weeknights from 10 on Talk Sport.
Talk Sport.
Catch up and listen up without having to cough up. It's free. Go to talksport.com and download the app today. Or don't. Your choice entirely.
Hello, Jim White here. Now, if you're wondering about all the background hullabaloo, I'm helping out as lifeguard at the brand new Talk Sport swimming pool. Goff! No running there, boy! But never mind that. Join me tomorrow morning from 10, when I'll be up to my neck in the warm, chlorinated waters of the day's biggest sports stories. Come plunge with me, Jim White, straight in at the deep end of the action.
Weekday mornings from 10 on Talk Sport.
Driving home with Darren Goff and Durham, a sporting legend and angry sports journalist who'll pick a fight with anyone.
Just really winds me up. Absolutely unbelievable.
To say I'm angry is an understatement.
Adrian Durham, what an absolute clown.
Dynamic, double strength drive time radio.
Shall I stay?
I don't like listening to him. I'll turn off.
Do you want me to stay?
Adrian Durham and Darren Goff.
He's an idiot.
Right, who hands up who wants me to stay?
Drive time radio.
I don't have to.
Weekdays from 4 only on Talk Sport.
Paul Hawksby and Andy Jacobs on Sport. Talk Sport. It's the double O duo of the radio show that's like a collapsible bridge over a shark-infested pool of big names, sporting headlines, and topical debate. Join Paul Alligator Hopscotch Hawksby and Andy Oddjob Jacobs, flying the plane of sporting entertainment out of the horse's bum of conventional radio.
Have we got Pussy Galore on the show, Andy?
No, Paul, but we've got Todd Macklin's American Sports Roundup. Will that do?
Not really, Andy, no.
Hawksby and Jacobs, shaken but not stirred. Weekday afternoons from 1 on TalkSport.
TalkSport.
Confuse bookmakers, impress football agents and entertain the kids with the improved TalkSport app. Totally fun, totally free, totally football. Download it now from TalkSport.com.
Hey, kids, take my mobile and go over there and play or something. Don't press the button that says Tinder.
TalkSport.